I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. We got a big event tonight. It's the FEG-PC 500. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be grueling. It's going to be a battle of endurance. And the winner of it tonight is going to go home with a lot of money, drivers. Just finishing up practice. We can show you the board, actually. Don't have much time left. Under 30 seconds, just about. And this is a really, really big field. We have not seen an event like this in a little while. We did have FEG Speed Week just a week ago about wrapped up. This is an event that's a little different from that because it's a one-night event. But all these drivers, a lot of them in the Podium 500 are working their way to get into the Podium 500 currently in the qualifying heats and stuff of that sort. LCQ start tomorrow for it. So all these guys right now, they like getting in here, getting some practice. Just adjusting something. I'm going to go take, while these guys start qualifying, I'm going to go, because I don't want you guys to hear this background audio got going on, so I'll be right back, then we'll get going. All right, sorry about that. We are back. Taking a look here at Art Greco on track in the 72, right in that top lane. Going to get as much speed as he can before he drops down low. We do have some people join us in the chat here early. And I'll tell you what, we'll see how long, or see who can make it through the longest in the stream. Like I said, it's 200 laps tonight. That's going to be a long one. Over 2 hours, most likely. Just as the drivers are going to have to endure it. We'll see how many of you can sit here and endure it. But welcome in some of the guys that I see in here. Duck Goose, how's it going, man? Robert Miller, good to see you in here. Jeremy Osborne, probably going to be one of the drivers out tonight. I haven't looked at the full lineup yet, but would not be surprised at all to see Osborne out here. And then we got BB, Ryan Bassett. Good to see you out here as well. Looks like he's rooting for Ambrose and Ron Morse Jr. tonight. That's a McCall Motorsport driver. And Ambrose, a fan favorite all the time. Do have a little bit of a special guest out here. Unfortunately, they're not going to be qualifying. We'll talk, so I'll save that actually for the race. That's what we'll go ahead and do. But let's take a look here. Jason Maines. And he's able to start in the pits. So what you're seeing here, Jason Maines is one of these drivers who does have a high I rating, where I believe he is going to have to start in the pits. It is a rule Jeff put in place tonight. There's going to be stage breaks, which we'll talk more about when we get into the race info. So it's not really going to affect anybody too bad. But drivers like Jason Maines, who did a nice job getting himself locked in to the duels for the Podium 500. He's going to get every chance at practice he can for qualifying. He knows how important it's going to be. That's why you see him out here on track. Now we'll pull up his initials so you can actually see him on the track map. Dives down below the apron. It's like Jeremy Osborne lets us know you're not racing tonight. Had other things going on. Did see you out there the other night, though, Jeremy. Good to see you in here, man. We appreciate you coming out. Christopher McCall Motorsports driver out of Savannah, Georgia. He's going to try to put down a fast lap. One of the things that we can actually go to the cockpit view here real quick. Let's turn this audio up a little bit. I know it seems to be a little quiet right now. But I was going to say, if we go to the cockpit view here, actually this is Chris's end lap, so we're not going to be able to see it as much. Here we go. Let's watch Matthew McMeekin. You see how he's really doing a nice job trying to hug that yellow, but then if you go to TV1 here, you'll see there's actually still a little gap. You see it there. He's about quarter to half a foot, maybe, no, actually about a foot off the yellow. Sometimes that's hard to judge. You think you're hugging it as tight as you can, but sometimes you're not. You got to get a little bit closer. We got about a minute and 40 seconds here left in qualifying. Currently top of the board is Kevin Fraze in the 16. Matthew Baker, though, just now going to steal it from him. Hometown, Magnolia, Texas. Road to Pro driver. Nice looking coasting Thunder paint scheme there. And this might just about wrap it up for all the drivers. Richard Elliott finishes up his lap. Some of these guys in here, such as Richard Elliott, there's a couple more. I think Joshua Watson's in here. And we have a couple more Kevin Fraze. There are some drivers that are in another series I do. It's actually a league. It's the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series. And they let me know beforehand they were out here, so we're going to be cheering them on in general. And under a minute left in qualifying. Matthew Baker's still holding on top. But it looks like the leader, McCall Motorsports, Ken McCall Jr., put up a fast lap today. Sometimes they are not the most well-known drivers when it comes to qualifying. But he got it done tonight, and here he is, the 01. It's Joshua Watson. Looks like he is not going to finish this lap. Just going to coast it down here. Bring it to pit road. He's getting ready to go. Everybody getting in here now. Let your friends know. We got a good one tonight. It's the FEG-PC Daytona 500 here on Ghost Racing Network. You are watching the Green Ghost. And that is going to do it. White flag is in the air to end qualifying. And we have a humongous field tonight. So as always, there's going to be a couple new guys, a couple guys that I've actually seen, but sometimes their last name, if I pronounce it wrong, I do apologize. We're going to try to go through it with a little bit more confidence, though, tonight. Probably better than butchering it if we can help it. But we're going to let everybody grid up here before we start getting into anything. What we can do is get into your race info. We are at Daytona International Speedway under the lights. Big 2.5-mile super speedway oval, heavy banking in the corners, long straightaways. Wind not going to be a factor, cool weather. Bump drafting going to be a huge part of who wins this race. And you see it there, 200 laps, 100% fuel, unlimited tires, one fast repair. That's also going to be an important factor. Fixed setups. Stage 1 ends on lap 60. Stage 2 ends on lap 120. And then we're going to have a green flag run, hopefully to the finish from that. Now we can go up front here, get to your starting grid. Let's see if we can actually get it lined up a little bit better here. We'll let the drivers get rolling off. But starting in first tonight, got the pole. It's going to be Matthew Baker, another driver who locked himself, from what I heard at least, in the duels for the Podium 500. He's going to get ready for that tonight. In second, the outside pole is going to be Kevin Fraze. Third, Ken McCall Jr. Fourth, Raymond Ritnar the second. Fifth is going to be Jeff Merck. Sixth, Jason Maines. Seventh, John Ward. Eighth, Sean Hill. Ninth is going to be Sean Boundy, followed by 10th, Autumn Koger. Good to see her back in here tonight. Eddie Hawks, another McCall Motorsports driver, in 11th. And rounding out row 6 is David Sheets in the 06 car. 13th, Christopher McCall. 14th, Matthew McMeekin. 15th, Mark Vondell. 16th, Ron Morris Jr. 17th, Art Greco. Rounding out row 9 is Joshua Watson. In 19th, Richard Elliott. 20th, Cody Reed. 21st, Danny Eshelman. 22nd, Ambrose Kniebel. 23rd is going to be Daniel Bell. 24th, Chad Ross. 25th, Bryant Newingham. 26th, looks like is going to be Ross Leanbach. That's a new driver in here tonight. Good to see him in here. 27th is going to be Matt Mitchell. 28th, Dylan Jones. 29th, Daniel Eberhardt III. 30th, the owner of Ghost Racing Network and the man I have to root for tonight, Bryce Cobbler. See if he gets it done in the Ghost Racing Machines. 31st, Terrence Bonney. 32nd, Jason Julian. 33rd, John Mullahan. 34th is going to be Stephen Page. 35th, James Kaufman. 36th, Brian Terry. 37th, Brian Kaiser. And rounding out the field for a 38-car strong field is going to be Chris Cronin in the 28. Drivers saw him there just getting rolling. Some of these guys you see sitting on pit road, which this is part of that thing. They did qualify on the pole. Remember, Matthew Baker was technically your pole sitter, but Jeff put in a rule here to make the racing a little bit more exciting. If you are over 4,000 I rating, you're going to have to miss the start here. Start from the pits, that is. They shouldn't have to worry about going a lap down. There's going to be a lot of them in it. They're all going to gas up as soon as they're allowed to. And then once we get that first caution, if they haven't caught up, that is when they will. So let's give a shout-out, I guess, to who is going to be your current pole sitter, and that's going to be the 03 now of Ken McCall Jr. to his outside. Is going to be, it looks like the 3 car. That's Sean Hill, another McCall Motorsports driver. It looks like with that, that's going to really line up McCall Motorsports. Actually, top 5 here. My goodness, strong start. Going to see what they can do. And then behind them, Sean Boundy. He's going to try to mix it up. We'll see if these guys decide to get really racy early or not. Not sure what they'll decide to do. We'll just have to find out. Long event tonight, 200 laps. You got to be careful. You can't win it on any of them but the 200th one. Baker's mom says start from pit. Yes, that is indeed how it works. Anybody over 4,000 iRating does have to start from the pit tonight. And you will see them all roaring out. But first, pace car is going to pull off. Ken McCall Jr. rolls into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. It's the FEG-PC 500. Ken McCall Jr. dives down to the short chute. We can take a look way back here. You'll see these guys getting up to speed now. There they are all together. Matthew Baker leading the charge. They're going to get up to speed as quick as they possibly can. Ken McCall Jr. still holding the field at bay on the inside. That outside might get a big run. These cars link up a lot different than the Xfinity Series. If you get together, they absolutely fly, and we'll see who can do it the best tonight. In practice, there was a couple guys. It only really takes 2 cars in these next gens. If you can find someone else to push hard, you can make a lot of progress. Ken McCall Jr. did jump to the top lane in front of his teammate John Ward in the 92. Out of turn 4, he still has the lead with that bottom making a huge charge. Lap 1. Looks like it's going to go to the 34. That's Sean Bounty. Nice job getting himself out in the lead. Didn't start on the pole. Started a couple rows back. Having no issues getting up here to the front early. That outside, looks like a lot of people already tucking into the inside. A little surprised to see that, because we know that this top lane usually is where the momentum goes in general in all 3 series. But in these cup cars, you just carry momentum so much more in that top lane. But a 200-lap race here, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be grueling. These guys are going to have to be real careful. When you get on old tires, these things don't turn. And sometimes if you try to turn it a little too much, that back end comes right around. Gives you no chance at saving it. And it looks like the scoring tower had a little bit of an issue there for a split second. That second group, let's see if they're catching them. Actually, it looks like we may have more than 2 groups right now. We're going to have 3 groups right here. This last group currently being led by Matthew Baker. They're catching the group in front of them with no problems. No surprise there. A lot of split field. Actually, let's pull up the track map to take a look. On the top right of your screen there, you can see just how separated everybody is. Currently sitting here in the back is Bryce Cobbler in the Ghost Racing Network machine. Just playing it safe right now. Talked to him a little bit before this. Doesn't want to get involved in a wreck, but he's got to be careful. If he goes a lap down, it could cause him some problems. I think he'll be okay as long as he can stay. He's not going to be able to catch a draft, though, so I'm not sure. Daniel Eberhardt drafting with teammate Dylan Jones a little further ahead. And then it's Cody Reed, Richard Elliott, and Joshua Watson. It's a couple of fast track sim racing drivers. Let's go back up front, though. Ken McCall Jr. still trying to get the lead on the outside from Sean Boundy on the inside. That 34, that's a good-looking paint scheme right there. VRX simulators. We might have Pimax on there, too. But John Ward shoving his teammate to the lead. Remember, you can really actually get on the bumper in the turns in these cars. It's a little sketcy, especially on old tires. But everybody's got fresh rubber on the cars right now, so they can really push if they want. These cars will handle pretty stable. Ambrose Knievel in the front pack right now in the 04. Driver out of Gold Bar, Washington. You saw a couple people rooting for him. Fan favorite. No surprise there. Ambrose has got himself up here in the top 10 right now. Behind him is Ron Morris Jr., McCall Motorsports driver, RMR owner, Art Greco, Mark Von Dell. All these guys making up this lead pack. Take a look from the blimp cam. We can see if this gap has closed up a little bit more. This is that second pack. We're trying to get a better view for you guys here. So here's what we'll do. We'll go to screenshot 2. And you'll probably see it more down the front or back stretch than you'll see it right here. And the 4, though, this is that second pack, by the way. If you want, this is not for the lead. It is the 4 car, though, of John Mullihan. Looks like he changed up his paint scheme a little bit there. He's got his teammate, another Team 3 driver to the inside of him, Chad Ross. And I wonder if this is a little strategy play from Team 3. Not sure if they're trying to track down the leaders or not. The gap between him and Jason Julian. And actually, still a lot of split with the field right now. Really didn't expect to see this many. We got about 4 or 5 groups all over the track right now. This will tighten up when we get that first stage break. That'll come on lap 60, but we got a long ways before we're going to get there. I think this first group is thinking about, hey guys, if we line up, we might be able to pull away from that group that's trying to catch us. Maybe lap a couple of these drivers. That could play a big role later with a field this big. Trust me, you don't want to go a lap down early. It's really going to hurt you in the long run. Roaring down the backstretch on lap 7 though here at Daytona. I'm going to wish a couple of these drivers. I think John Ward is just making sure that him and Ken can lock up good right now. I'm surprised that they're pushing this aggressive up front this early. But when you know your teammate that well, that's one of the perks of it. That's one of the things you can do. Ken McCall Jr. did race his way into the last chance qualifier for the Podium 500. The guy behind him, John Ward, raced his way into the duels for the Podium 500. Looks like Mike Davenport pulling for McCall tonight. Says, let's go. Saw Mike in the race the other night. PGR. Mission here, Mike. Good to see you out here watching. Kind of cool how the iRacing community likes to support each other as much as they do, especially in these money races. It's the second driver so far I've seen tonight not out here running that normally does. But they're out here supporting somebody. Bryce Cobbler, let's see how close he's getting to going a lap down from where he sits. Ooh, the field catching him pretty quick, a lot quicker than I actually thought they would be. You see it right there, the leader working their way into the trial right here, and then we go all the way back to Bryce, who's just about to get into turn 1, so unfortunately he is definitely going to go a lap down right here. Next step is he's going to have to try to make sure he stays that first car on the lead lap, get the lucky dog if he can. He's not, it's another thing is with these cars is it's hard to actually catch right onto the draft, and these two might be in jeopardy in a little bit of going to lap down as well. But how about Daniel Eberhard? Let's give him a shout out. He won his heat race for the Podium 500. Got an extra $50. One of the most impressive performances I've seen, though. He went up there and got it, though, in the 90 car. What I was going to say is these lap cars got to be a little bit more careful, too, than usual, because it's not like the trucks in Xfinity where you can really just hang on to the back of the draft. Can't do that in these. You really need help, so Bryce going to have to either try to side draft when they catch him, hope that someone decides to push him, or he's going to have to duck in line as soon as possible if he wants to have any chance at keeping the draft. If you lose the draft in these next gens, you can forget about it. The progress you make in these when you link up, it's about a 10-mile-an-hour difference. Let's see if we can catch any glimpse of it here. We'll go to your dashboard on the bottom right of your screen. Let's see the speed these two get here as John Ward links up to the bumper. 193, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite able to get to 200. You saw 199 later in this race when it gets even more aggressive. That 200 mark going to be no problem. Remember, at night, these cars pick up a little bit more power. Oh, looks like we got one on the apron. That's Joshua Watson. Actually went off track. Let's see what happened here. The driver of the 01. Oh, he's already down on the apron. Not sure if he lost it here or what happened. Let's run on board, see if we can get any idea of what went wrong here with the 01. That is a fast track sim racing driver. Not running at full power right now, only in 5th gear. I'm really not sure what happened to him here. Oh, wow. This must have started early. Something in that car had to be broke. You see the wheel. Boy, he's got that thing cranked, and it is just not there. We're going to back this up even more real quick. What happened to the 01? You think that's a broken toe link or something here? Oh, here we go. This might give us a little more. Oh, my. Let's watch this from TV. Let's watch this from the spotter view. So there was contact with the wall. That would explain the broken toe link. He can turn. Oh, one in the wall up there. Further back. Oh, the one. Oh, that is a huge hit for Joshua Watson. Up into Bryant Newingham. And 100%, that broke the steering on that car. Surprised that didn't bring out the caution. You see him doing everything he can to get it back down the track. He's going to have to pit for sure. Let's go back up front, though. Yeah, caution was not brought out from that. Remember, it is iRacing cautions. There's a couple guys involved. Now, let's see if we can catch a couple of them. This is not going to help. Oh, Matthew Baker looks like may have been involved in it as well. Driver of the 5 getting back up to speed. He currently sits a lap down. So does Joshua Watson, who did get it back out on track. Going to try to catch the draft here. Richard Elliott. Bryce Cobbler. Looks like he also managed to catch onto the draft. And Bryce, so far, it's not showing him a lap down on my scoring, but it may have just went a lap down, so we'll have to see when the scoring tower goes by. You can take a look at it there on your left once we get down here. Yeah, Bryce did go a lap down. Actually, Richard Elliott 2 laps down. So is Joshua Watson and Matthew Baker. So they must have all been involved in that first incident that didn't draw the caution. A couple guys not going to be too happy about that one. John Ward still pushing on his teammate up front, though. Take a look at some of the lap times being ran. 46.9, 47 flat the last 2 laps from your leader, Ken McCall Jr., who's kind of got the field all in line on the top. A lot of these drivers, for some reason, I mean, I kind of get it, but I've heard a couple guys say the best feeling is to have the whole field in tow up top at Daytona. Just feels like you really are controlling everybody out there. All the energy's with you, all the momentum. But his teammate, Christopher McCall, a couple rows back, does jump down to the bottom. John Ward looked like maybe he thought about it. Doesn't go, though. John going to be a big asset to his teammate tonight. Those two have worked really good together in past races. All teammates usually work good together, but sometimes you just find those connections within the team. A couple drivers just seem to hook up even better than others. Autumn Koger sitting back here as well with her teammates. So is David Sheets. How about Matthew McMeekin here in the 41 car doing a nice job on that outside line. Actually in the 4 car for what you guys can see. My scoring shows the 41. Driver out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Attitude Esports. Christopher McCall, Eddie Hawks. Sean Boundy, who we saw fighting for the lead earlier, falls back a little bit now. But Mark Fondell, he's still hanging with this lead pack. That's a nice job from him. Actually, it looks like Mark is in the second pack, but they are all still with the lead pack. They are in the draft. They don't have to worry about it. Let's look a little farther back where Danny Eshelman's got a little group of 4 here. Art Greco, Ross Leanbach, and James Kaufman. Brian Kaiser, another Team 3 driver. So Team 3 has a pretty good field tonight. This is the 4th. I see 4 of them so far tonight. Brian Kaiser, one of them. James Kaufman, another. And then you have John Mullahan and Chad Ross, 2 of the leaders. Stephen Page, actually, another McCall Motorsports driver. So that make that 5 cars. So later in the race, when these guys get up there, they might have some contest to put to McCall Motorsports. Brian Terry back here on the 13 DeWalt machine. And then it's Chris Cronin, followed by Chad Ross, Cody Reed, Matt Mitchell, Raymond Ritnar the second. And this is that group that had to start in the back. Kevin Fraze, Jason Maines, they've all caught up here. Pretty good hurry, and it looks like they don't want to follow this group. They're going to try to go around. They should be able to make a lot of progress on the back here. They are really linked up. That 25 is pushing hard on that 87. Gotta love the driver pick there from Kevin Freeze. Ted, Jason Maines, another driver that got into the duels. And then behind them, Dylan Jones, Daniel Eberhardt. They are also catching that group right in front of them. The 23 of Terrence Bonney. And then you got Jeff Merck, Bryce Cobbler. All sitting in this draft further back. Bryce shouldn't have to worry about going another lap down now as long as he can pit with those guys. Unfortunately, though, he is no longer the lead car a lap down, so this is already a bad situation for a couple drivers that have won a lap down early because, remember, only one gets that lucky dog, and you can stay out, and you would technically get the free pass. Unfortunately, though, everybody's going to need a pit, including the guys that are a lap down, so they're not going to be able to use that strategy. We are 18 laps in. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stick with us. Welcome back to the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. It's the FEG-PC 500 here on a Friday night. Your current leader is still Ken McCall Jr. from McCall Motorsports. Second, John Ward. Third is Sean Hill. Fourth, Autumn Koger. And fifth is David Sheets in the 06 Transmatic machine. How about that paint scheme? That's pretty nice looking. And this group, all of a sudden, has checked out on everybody else. The top 8 right now. And you see it there. They've actually I take that back. It looks like it's the top 7. And Matthew Baker tagging along a couple lappers. But it looks like they've made about a 5-second gap right now. Christopher McCall rounding it out. A 5-second gap on the group behind him. That's pretty impressive. Not sure how everybody seemed to lose the draft unless that first group was just pushing really hard. Oh, Ambrose Knievel gets down on the apron as the 87 pulls high. I think Ambrose is going to fall to the back of this group. So a lot of different action on the track. If we show you the track map now, it is busy. Look at it, almost the entire track. Looks like Bristol, where we see that many lappers. Not the case, though. But a long race, a lot of things can still happen. Oh, the 37 gave a little bit of a bad bump to the 47 right there. Those two almost went around. That's Daniel Bell and Jason Julian. Danny Eshelman in this group. He locked himself into the duels for the Podium 500. Good job to Danny as well. And Art Greco also with this pack. Let's move on to the next one. Raymond Rittenar the second. Kevin Fraze, Jason Maines, James Kaufman, Brian Kaiser, John Mullihan, Stephen Page, and then Cody Reed is going to be where we get on to our next pack. He's leading it, followed by Chad Ross, Brian Terry, Ross Leanbach, Matt Mitchell. And those guys that were involved in that little incident we saw that didn't bring out the caution, they are not liking what we see right now. It's just going to continue to wind laps down. They have to worry about other guys going a lap down, maybe not getting it. And they're going to have to either play some strategy into this or we're going to have to see some cautions. Some of the drivers that I did talk to throughout this race said that it is going to realistically be all about who can make it till the end. And then we know Ken McCall Jr. once said it takes a lot of skill to make it to the end of these, and then it takes a lot of luck to finish it off sometimes. But his teammate now going to give him battle on the inside. Christopher McCall getting a huge push from Matthew Baker, who's trying to get one of his laps back the hard way. He has currently fallen to 3 laps down, so he's got to try to get a couple of them back. And I'll tell you what, we're seeing some of these cars all of a sudden start to not handle as nicely. This is what we expect in these next gens. A lot of bobbing and weaving off 4. Got to be careful here. If you make too sudden of a move, these tires, they don't have the grip they once had. You can't be making these aggressive moves down and up the track like you could on new tires. You'll get yourself loose. You cannot save it in these cars, I'm telling you. It is really, really difficult to do. And I do want to apologize to everyone. Did have a very sore throat today, so had to take a break there to get some water. I apologize if my voice starts to go. If you are just tuning in, I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's a long race, so I'll tell you what, 20 viewers right now. These guys certainly appreciate y'all coming out. 200 lap event. Hopefully we get some more people once we get down to the nitty gritty of this thing. But if you like what you've seen so far, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It helps out a lot. And if you're new here, give us a follow. I think we've gotten like 20 to 30 guys in the last week. It's been absolutely insane. You guys are doing awesome. It means the world to us. It means the world to this man right here. He's drafting with a pack back here. Bryce Cobbler. The 24 Ghost Racing Network machine. You'll see him fly by here. Richard Elliott, fast track sim racing driver in the 02. He's sitting back here, this pack. Maybe with his team. I'm not sure if these two are teammates. They certainly are co-racers. Right behind him, actually, Joshua Watson, who is currently 2 laps down. Yeah, you heard Baker's mom right there, and Cher, absolutely. Appreciate that. Matthew Baker's been trying to get his lap back. A little surprised that they haven't been able to get by. But man, John Ward, he's just got so much confidence in his teammate in front of him. Any challenge they've had just hasn't went anywhere. And you see Matthew Baker now by himself. You can push really hard in these cars, but they also get hot really quick. They are catching the lap car. That is going to be the 23. Let's see if we can figure out who this is. That's Terrence Bonney. A lot of guys out here. A lot of new guys. We like to see it. I know there was another cap on the thing tonight of no current pros. Keeps out some of the real talented guys, of course, not taken away. We got a lot of talented guys in here, a lot of road to pro drivers. And you see you don't even need to be a Road to Pro driver. We got ones that aren't, such as Ken McCall Jr. He's leading this field, and he's leading a pack that is pulled away from the rest of the field. Now Jeff Merck going to jump down with Matthew Baker. Jeff Merck also 2 laps down. They really want to see these guys get racing. I'll tell you what, they certainly wouldn't mind a caution. You're going to have to start somewhere if you're going to make any progress on getting back on that lead lap. And the more we go green, the harder it's going to be for them. These front 4, 6, even 8, they're all hoping we continue to stay green as they know they're in good position. It is, let me double check this real quick so I don't misspeak on it. It is going to be top 10 payout tonight. It was a $3,000 payout initially. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of money. We didn't meet the 50 driver criteria, but 39 is still a huge payout. Ooh, the 60, that was Jeff Merck. He got really out of shape right there. This is what I'm talking about. He made a little bit of an aggressive move. Wasn't even that quick of a move, but just that little move got him that out of shape, almost sent him around. And remember, we are going to have a pit stop here before this first stage break. Be interesting when we see it. Oh, the 23. Terrence Bondy got up into the wall right there. Looks like he saves it, though. Does a nice job not getting himself in any more trouble. Let's go back, check out a couple more of these packs. Ron Morris Jr., another McCall Motorsports driver. He's leading this second pack, so he's got to be feeling pretty good about where he's at right now. Behind him, going to be Sean Boundy. A couple lap cars separating them. And then it's going to be Eddie Hawks, another McCall Motorsports driver. Daniel Bell, the leader of the third pack in the 47. Behind him is Jason Julian, Danny Eshelman, and Art Greco in the 72. Mark Vondell also tagged onto the back of this pack all of a sudden. And then the next group, Raymond Ritnar the second. And then he's got Kevin Fraze and Brian Kaiser behind him. Jason Maines a little further back with John Mullahan, Team 3 driver. And another Team 3 driver in Stephen Page. And then it's going to be Cody Reed, Chad Ross, Ross Leanbach, Brian Terry. Then we move further back to Daniel Eberhardt and his teammate Dylan Jones, who had been on a roll as of recent. We'll see if they can keep it going tonight. They're also hooked up with James Kaufman and Matt Mitchell. Chris Cronin running by himself. Terrence Bonnie also by himself. Bryce Cobbler and a pack back here. And Bryce actually with that second pack. So in no danger of going any more laps down. So this is going to play dividends for this 24. Looks like now he does switch to the first car a lap down. So if he keeps playing his strategy right, he very well might see him getting a lap back. Chris Cronin does go to pit road. Ambrose Knievel getting back up to speed. Jeff Merck in this front group, while not many of these guys are on the lead lap that are in the front of it, we are getting a lot more lap cars tagging onto it. But Mr. Hell Yeah, McCall Motorsports, Ken McCall Jr. still leading the way. John Ward behind him. The 92 still has not backed off. He's not pushing quite as hard as he was earlier. Still showing no scaredness, though, to get right onto the back bumper and just lay it to the 03. Looks like Matthew McMeekin thought about dropping low. Doesn't get any help right now, but I think if he keeps trying that move, he's going to get some. We have already had some drivers pitting. They're only going to have to pit that one. Oh, David Sheets here is falling back a little bit. He's got to be careful here. Doesn't want to lose the draft. Up front, though, or in this first pack, rather, looks like they are going to be lapping the 28 now. It's Chris Cronin. We saw him on pit road. Chris Cronin, actually, I believe it's pronounced. Oh, gets in the wall again. These cars get very aerotight sometimes on entry, and you see that's why the 03 is running a lane lower. He is on the top, but he's not running right against the wall like we might see him do in the Xfinity or Truck Series because these cars will get tight in a hurry. Jeff Merck, though, going to side draft Autumn Koger down to the bottom in the tribal, trying to bring Matthew Baker with him. It's hard to get linked up with just two cars. Once you do, it's that classic tandem, and you can just go. And it looks like Jeff Merck maybe tapped the brake to get Matthew Baker on his bumper. See how much progress these two can make. Remember, not on the lead lap, either of them. But that doesn't matter because they can get back on, and they're trying to earn one of them back the hard way right now. Ambrose, can you look at that scoring tower on your left? We have had a lot of guys go a lap down here already. I'm a little surprised by it because we've done next-gen races that are about the length of the distance we've went so far, and never have we seen this many guys go a lap down. Currently 29 cars still on the lead lap. But 30 laps in to have 10 guys down a lap, a little under 10 actually. We did have a 38-car field tonight. This is a very impressive field. Good to see everyone out here. We are over halfway to the stage break for stage 1. Remember, that is going to be on lap 60. I believe it'll probably be at the end of lap 60. Oh, the 92 got a little high, almost scraped the wall. Got to be real careful. You get in that wall on these old tires, it'll suck you. And Jeff Merck going to try another move to the bottom. John Ward absolutely shoving on his teammate right now. Sean Hill further back. Autumn Koger looking out the back of her car. There you see Matthew McMeekin. And then Matthew Baker looks like he's trying to generate a run right now. See if he decides to dive down low once he gets it. The checkups in these cars is pretty absurd as well. You got to be careful late in the run. Not quite as grippy. You don't want to jerk the wheel. You want to use that brake pedal to get it slowed down. Early on, you can get away with making a move instead of stopping. You can't really do that later. But how about McCall Motorsports right now? 1, 2, 3. Or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 right now. And 7th. Christopher McCall. Unfortunately, though, this group of 3 has fallen back. Chris really shoving on his teammate. They're trying to get back up. We can see if the gap is closing. Unfortunately, it is not. They're pulling away up here. So that is going to now narrow this front group down to only 5 cars. We do have 7 cars, actually. Fortunately, though, only 5 of them are on the lead lap. "35 laps so far completed tonight at Daytona." We are not even a quarter of the way through this 200-lap event. If you're still here, you're already doing a good job. I may have went to go take a nap, grab some food right now, as this is kind of that part where we just got everybody gets in a rhythm here, ticks off laps. One of the things that makes you feel so good about it at the end when you win it, because you know you got through that part. It's the hardest part sometimes. It really can mess with the mindset of these drivers. Just kind of sitting there. You think you can ride and just kind of let yourself drift off while you do it. Oh, we're going to see our first round of pit stops here from the leaders. 03, the 92, the 3, Sean Hill, and the 20 of Autumn Koger. These are a little bit trickier to get into your box. Got to be real careful here, guys. See if we can all make it in cleanly. It got onto pit road very nicely. These cars, not an easy task to slow down, especially on old tires. Don't want to slide through your box, though. Looks like from what I'm looking at so far, everybody looks to be... Oh, looks like I might have saw one and have to back up a little further back. Oh, another guy missed it further back as well. We'll see who wins the race off, though. Everybody gonna take tires. Usually we wouldn't see tires, but they're really important on these cars, so they're gonna take them. The battle out, though, is gonna go to Sean Hill, followed by John Ward. And then it looks like it's gonna be Matthew McMeekin and Ken McCall Jr. Matthew Baker a lap down, but he still sticks with this group. And that's gonna turn over the lead to Sean Boundy in the 34. Looks like they are all gonna pit this time. The Bryce Cobbler gonna go in as well. Ooh, he looks a little hot in that 24 car. He's able to get it slowed down nicely. Bryce trying to make sure he doesn't go lead lap. Pulls into his box. Gets in nice and clean. Joshua Watson a lap down, but he is sticking with this group. That's what you got to do. Can't give up just because you go a lap or 2 down. A long, long event. So much can happen. It's almost like there's stages to this event. So many different things can happen, but none of it will matter once we hit those last 10 laps, because that's when the race starts. And even in those last 10 laps, nothing matters until that last lap, and you get that checkered flag. Best feeling in the world. Your new leader now is going to be Raymond Rittenauer, the second in the 87. Behind him is Kevin Fraser, then Jason Maines, John Mullahan, Stephen Page, Brian Kaiser, all caught on to this group. And then in 7th through 9th is going to be Daniel Eberhardt, Dylan Jones, and Chad Ross. And let's see how this group really fared out once they got linked back up. We might see that group right there that we just were looking at, your leaders and the pack behind them, stay out. They'll see if they can make some time up on this group right here. But Sean Hill, John Ward, and Ken McCall Jr., they all got linked back up. 3 teammates, Matthew Baker still with them. John Ward, right now, if I had to put my money on someone, I might have to put it on him. He's just looks so confident being behind the amount of drivers that he's been behind. Oh, we got one on the apron there trying not to lose it. That looks like the 2 car. Couldn't tell who that was. They kept it together, though, thankfully. No issues. We did have Ambrose Knievel go off the track. Not sure exactly what lap this was, but let's take a look what happened to the 04. Looks like this is coming out of his pit stall here, so this may have just been recent. Oh yeah, he's going to get in the grass. Gets back on track, thankfully with no issues. See if he's able to get it around here safely. I'm telling you, these cars are really, really hard to go around that apron. If those back tires just break loose, even the slightest bit, all of a sudden it feels like you're on ice. Just no grip. We do see pit stops now from drivers such as Daniel Eberhardt, Dylan Jones, a couple others, so that turns the lead back over to the guys that were leading it. Raymond Rittenauer the second falls back to 20th, excuse me. Baker's mom says, come on, Mains, right now. Looks to be the driver in the best position between him and Matthew Baker. 23, that's Terrence Bonney getting it back up to speed. Let's see how some of these drivers fared out after pit stops. Take a look. Oh, yellow flag is out. Yellow flag is out. What happened? Let's see if we can find it here. Oh, there we go. Mark Von Dell. No, that's not Mark. Who is this? It's going to be Matt Mitchell in the 36. And that was an interesting time for pit stops because that's going to trap more people a lap down than what they initially were hoping for. Bad timing, but let's see what happened. Coming off of pit road here, looks like. Let's look at it from the spotter view. There we go. Let's see what happens. Oh no. What happened to the 36? Just car goes dead right up the track. Let's see if anybody's going to make contact. Ambrose Knievel looks like he makes an evasive maneuver here. Ooh, that 4 is really out of shape. Was he able to hold on to it? Oh, no, you see the 04 sliding back up the track. Ambrose Knievel looks like he did hit the wall. Let's go see if we can see what happens here. Yep, sure enough, Ambrose gets in the wall. Back it up a little bit more to show you that contact. Watch this. Slides back up on the track. Little contact for the 36 of Matt Mitchell, but that's pretty hard contact for the 04. May have broken the toe link. Let's see if we can see it. Couldn't tell from that view. These cars hold up on damage pretty well unless you hit them right in that suspension. That's oh, and you see it there. Toe link destroyed on Ambrose Knievel. So he's either going to have to sit in pit road for at least 4 minutes to fix it or use a fast repair. But let's go back up front and talk about your current top 5 as they run. First place is going to be Sean Hill. Second, John Ward. Third, Ken McCall Jr. Fourth, Autumn Koger. And fifth, Matthew McMeekin. About Matthew, I don't think he's got any teammates, at least not up here right now, but he's sticking up here. Putting it to some of these guys. Sean Boundy as well, another driver doing pretty good so far tonight. Got a bunch of guys on pit road here, and let's see who all gets back on the lead lap right here. This is where it's going to get a little interesting to see how it all pans out. Because you see, pit road is certainly a busy place. We can actually go to the pit cam here and show you. Looks like the highway got rush hour traffic. Everybody working their way off pit road. Tell you what, with Daytona coming up next week. Next week is the start of Speed Week in real life, of course, as many of you probably know. And I'm excited. I don't know about everybody in the chat, but I sure as heck am. We'll be at the truck and Xfinity race. Best time of the year. And these drivers, events like that, get them more excited for these kind of events. Jeff has certainly put on a magnificent event tonight here. We're excited to be doing it. Always happy to be streaming events like this on Ghost Racing Network, and we can't thank you guys that come out and watch enough. It means a lot to us. Let's see who all fares out. I want you guys to look at your scoring tower again on the left. Let's see who all got back on the lead lap here. 27 cars currently sit on the lead lap, it looks like. And I mean a lot of guys are currently sitting a lap down, with a couple sitting 2 laps down. So this might shake it up a little bit once that first stage ends, and I'll tell you why, because a lot of those guys will probably be able to go another 10 to 15 laps, bearing no more cautions after the stage break, and by doing that, they would get the wave around, but then they would have to pit, of course. That might throw their strategy off a little bit, so that's a tough choice. I think if I'm farther back there, I might try to just get my lap back as soon as I can. Because with a long event like this, and I know there's going to be another stage break 60 laps after the first one, so all you got to do is manage. Just find 2 other guys that are lapped down and say, hey guys, let's just commit to this strategy. We'll stay on the lead lap, and then we'll be good for that third stage, which is when it starts to really matter. The pace car lights are off. We're going to go green this time. I'm going to take 1 sec, just get a quick sip of water real quick. And it looks like Matthew Baker's mom does say, I like watching trucks. Agreed. I think I like racing trucks better, just kind of different. You can really get a lot more aggressive. Sometimes it's just a different kind of racing. You know, you can be more aggressive late in the run than you can on these, but you can't tandem as much the way you can in these. Be interesting to see here if John Ward tries to take the lead, or if he decides to push somebody like he's been doing all night. Autumn Koger hasn't been out in a little while. You and I know it. She shook the rust off right away. Here she is running in 4th, 2nd on that top lane. These guys might try to coordinate a little bit of a restart. Normally we wouldn't see that. McCall Motorsports probably one of the raciest teams out here. But they know what they did last time. They were able to pull away from this group in a hurry. So they very well might line back up here. Try to get single file as quick as they can. It's going to be harder, though, to pull away from the group this time. Pace car does pull off into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out. 43 laps completed so far here at Daytona. Sean Hill gets a pretty good restart. Jumps right down in front of his teammate. That's part of that first coordination that we were talking about. Backstretch, though, going to be a key factor, but it looks like the 03 really hooked on. Here they go, jumping right up to the top lane. No surprise there. They know where the momentum's been all night. The 4 tried to side draft, couldn't get any help, though, in time. Sean Bounty trying to get up there to help him out. Can't do it, though, right now. And all 4 McCall Motorsports drivers get clear, and I think they're going to try to train on this top line. Be careful. Further back, we see quite a bit of dice, and we'll see if anybody decides to drop back. Let's actually take a look a little further back in this pack right here. A couple of these guys that were sitting back early. Jason Maines doesn't have to worry about doesn't have to worry about starting in the pits this time. That was only for the initial start. He's up here. He looks like he's ready to get involved, get a little racy. Stephen Page. Oh, we got one around. The 28, can he save it? No, back up into the 18, hard hit into the outside wall. Caution is out. Ron Morris Jr. involved. The 18 slides into the wall. That's Stephen Page. The 23, Terrence Bonney's in it. The 24, Bryce Cobbler starts to roll. Big crash. Didn't expect to see this. And can't tell if the 24 got any damage, got involved in this or not. Looks like he might have some on his front. Hard to tell. I think he does on his hood. So he is not going to have a chance at the lucky dog. I don't think he was in position anyway, but let's go see what happened here. We saw somebody get loose. I couldn't tell. Oh, it's the 28. 28. That's Chris Cronin in the 20. Let's see what. So he's already loose here. Remember, these get out of shape, and we were talking about it. It's just so hard to save them once they get out of shape. Let's get it from TV3 here. Actually, TV2. This ought to give us a pretty good view of it. I want you to watch. I'm going to take a look at Chris here because this should be able to start. See if he gets a bump into the turn. A little bit of, check up front here. Hits the 28, 24. It's Bryce Cobbler. Stack up effect. Everybody gets in it. 24 able to stay off him from a second hit. Unfortunately, the 28 is going to come down here. Hits the 25. James Coffin back up the track. Looks like 24 does a nice job. Gets back in the wall again. The 28 back down the track. Slides up into the 18 of Stephen Page, and this is where it starts to get ugly. A couple guys hard on the wall. Yeah, the 24 fully involved. Didn't know if he was at first. Looks like the 60. That might be Jeff Merck. Yep, he's involved. Oh, the 36. Nowhere to go. And then Ron Morris Jr. trying to sneak by on the inside. Is not going to quite do it. Gets turned back up the track, and he's going to hit the wall pretty hard as well. Actually, 76. It was a hard hit. Don't get me wrong, but he might be okay. I'm not sure how many of these guys are going to have a broken toe link. But definitely getting in wrecks early like this. Some of those guys will have to use their fast repairs. We see a lot of them coming down the pits now. We got Jimmy Crowan here. Owner of Dash for Cash says, looks like we had Baker's mom actually say these seem wobbly. Completely agree. I was in the heats the other night with Jason Maines. We were talking about, he was telling me, he said these things just handle so different than anything else that we see or drive. And it's so true. They're weird. They're good in their own way at times. And then sometimes they can irritate the heck out of you. But Jimmy Crow says trucks pack race better. Absolutely. And if you need any more proof of that, you can go check out the broadcast we did for him last Saturday in the Dash for Cash series. Those guys in the truck series, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, they were 4 wide at Talladega. Boy, was that a sight to behold. For over 4 laps straight before we had slight net code. It wasn't even the guys messing up. It was a net code that caused him to wreck. Jimmy Crow does have a race tomorrow, though. Saturday, that one is going to be broadcasted on Ghost Racing Network Bearing. Actually, I was going to tell you about this later, Jimmy, but we do have the LCQ. And if the duels, I don't think any of them will interfere. So, yes, that race will be streamed tomorrow on Ghost Racing Network. Excited for that one, especially after what we had last week. You can go get yourself involved in that one. Jimmy does. I believe Jimmy may do 100% payout. It's the highest payout of any of the promoting I see. But how about the man who put on this event? FEG-PC bringing in 38 drivers tonight for a great event here. 200 laps at Daytona International Speedway on the high banks. Been absolutely dominated so far by McCall Motorsports, but we haven't talked about him too much just because we haven't seen him up in the front yet. Let's talk about some of the Team 3 drivers if we can go to him here. How about John Mullihan? Currently sitting in 18th. Let me take that away. I do apologize. Currently sitting in 18th in the 4 car. A couple positions behind him on pit road is his teammate Chad Ross, and then Brian Kaiser, another Team 3 driver. Stephen Page involved in that last incident. That is a Team 3 driver. A little bit of an interesting looking paint scheme there. Just a giant Chevy logo on the both sides of that car. A little something different. Dylan Jones and his teammate Daniel Eberhardt, they are both on pit road right now. Ron Morris Jr. coming in to try to fix his damage. And I think if it's early, if that car somewhat runs, you got to try not to use your fast repair now. You just can't. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we're not even halfway through this race yet. If you use that fast repair now, it only takes one slip up, and that could end your night. Sean Hill going to control the restart this time. We did see a little bit of strategy play last time. They both dropped down. They all got together, and then you know what they did? They all got up to the top lane. Started to try to get the momentum going up there. We'll see if they try the same strategy this time. We'll see if the 3 lets him down, or if the 3 lets the 03 down, or if the 3 just tries to jump straight up in front of the 03. Pace car going to make the hard left turn into the pits this time. I'll tell you what, getting up to speed this time. I think we're going to do an FEG-PC 500. Crank it up. Here we go.
Green flag, green flag.
And that is going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. Crank It Up. I hope everybody enjoyed. Look at these 3 on the bottom, though. New leader, Jason Maines. Where did he come from? Behind him, he's got Kevin Fraze and Raymond Rittenauer the second. These guys had to start in the back. Didn't hear much noise, but they are locked up right now on that outside. McCall Motorsports trying everything. Can't get anything going yet. Boy, those three sure gapped the field right there. You saw it during the crank it up. I saw them coming to the front. All of a sudden, I switched cameras, and they're about half a second in front of the rest of the pack, and they're trying to pull away right here. This is some impressive bump drafting here from all three of these guys. Sean Hill decided they needed to go to the bottom. They realized how quick they were losing this pack. His teammate was trying to keep him up there. But another driver who's made his way up here is Cody Reed. In the 25 behind him, Sean Boundy, Christopher McCall, Eddie Hawks. And these three finally going to have to back off of each other. You can only go so long before it starts to get a little hot. You got to let it cool down a little bit. But boy, they sure had a fast run at it right there. Now the three, Sean Hill's got the draft back up. We'll see if he decides to make a move with it. If he does, will Cody Reed go with him? Looks like he is going to stay in line. Was wondering if maybe Jason would think about leading these guys to the top, and he's going to try to keep them all on the bottom for now. I think that 25, Kevin is just going to stay where he is. Feels pretty comfortable. The 87 not going anywhere, sticking with these two right now. And we are going to have our first stage break in just under 8 laps. Give everybody a chance to go use the bathroom, get some food, get ready to go back green. Into turn 3, Jason Main still out front. Let's take a look at the track map again to see just how spread out everyone's gotten since. And you see it, this field is still indeed very spread out. Look at your scoring monitor. Let's see how many of them have went a lap down at this time. Caution out. Oh, Bryce Cobbler looks like he might have been involved in this one. Let's see what happens. Yep, 24 down on the apron. Not sure if anyone... Oh, it looks like Dylan Jones may have also been involved. Let's check it out. Back it up a little bit here. Wow, what a camera angle scoring thing was right in the way of it. And it looked like, I'm not sure who got the worst of it. So what we're going to do actually here is we're going to start with Dylan because this, I'm not sure if this is where it starts and I'll play it slow here, see if we can figure it out. Daniel Eberhard, his teammate, high there. 17's got a huge run. They must have been checking up for something here. And we will make sure we look. Oh, wow. 17, Brian Newmingham got right on his bumper. Looks like the 11 maybe whipped down because they're wrecking up front. It looks like it. Let's get a better angle. How about that? Yep, 24 already around. So that's why you saw Dylan slowing up so much. Looks like 24, maybe where this starts actually. Let's take a look. This is Bryce Cobbler. Oh, he's actually on the inside here. Let's play this. Right on the inside. Oh, nothing to the 24's doing here. Actually, you see it there. Matthew Baker trying to push Jeff Merck, one of the guys he works so well with, usually back to the front. Gets him in a bad spot. Let's see it here. Yep, taps him on the left side. Can't do that. Matthew Baker tried to get back up, but it's too late. That turns the 60 down into the 24. Sends the 5 up. Matthew Baker able to keep it off the wall, though. 24, you see him sliding back up. Let's get you a better angle of that one as well. Play it back just one more time before we go all the way here. 24 up into the wall. The 4's in it. Hard hit. 6, Danny Esterman just scrapes him. Sliding down the track. Everyone else does a nice job avoiding him. But let's see. Let's fast forward this actually a little bit. And let's see if we can see if this 24 has a broken toe link from it. Just starts to get it rolling now. Back up on the bank and they're a little bit of trouble. Doesn't look like he got a broken toe link from what I can see. So far at least. We can go to the cockpit view. I know some of you guys might be wondering, well, who cares? He wrecked. He's got damage. But you see it here. This is what's more important about the wreck. Look at his steering wheel. See that little orange tape? That's supposed to be in the middle, not where it runs right now. And that very well might be a fast repair for the 24, or he's going to have to sit on pit road for a little while to get it all fixed. But let's go back live now. The man who took the lead. Sorry, let's go back up here where Jason Maines is your current leader in second. Kevin Fraze, third. Raymond Rittenauer, the second. Fourth, Sean Boundy, and fifth, Cody Reed. Sixth, though, David Sheets. Seventh, John Ward. Knowing stages don't pay out anything, we might see a couple drivers, which I think we do. Let's go to the pit road cam now and see just how busy it is, if any. You see it here. Got a couple drivers on it, including Matthew Baker Looks like Jeff Merck down there as well was involved in that last incident. And we are going to have another caution, a scheduled caution, of course, in the next 6 laps. Jason Main's going to try to hold him off until then. We'll see if him and Kevin maybe decide to coordinate this restart. Excuse me, but they were working really good together. And we'll see if they decide to do the same thing. Trying to find out. It looks like we only have one car out right now. That is going to be Daniel Bell in the 47. Unfortunately, his night did end early. Ambrose Kniebel, he's in the back of this pack. Laps down, unfortunately, though. Have 27 cars on the lead lap right now. Let's see the 24 who it looked like got the most damage out of that. Bryce Cobbler looks like he is back up to speed. Currently sitting a lap down. Not sure if he used his fast repair or not, or how that car is going to handle it. If he didn't use it on the last one, I still see that right side hood crumple. That tells me he didn't use it just now, so I'm not sure if he still has it and hasn't used it yet. We'll have to find out. If he hasn't, he might still be okay here. Still within that range of being able to get his lap back with a caution if it all plays out right. We'll see if it plays out the same way it did last time for these top 3. They're going to have to hold the rest of these charging guys off for another 5 laps, but McCall Motorsports has fallen back a little bit. I think a couple of them may have came into pit. Sean Hill, 14th. Christopher McCall, 13th. David Sheets is up in the top 10 and 6th. He's got John Ward to his outside. And let's take a look at this restart from the spotter view. Get you a good idea what the spotters see when they go green. Field crawling into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out at Daytona. Jason Main's another good restart, and I promise you that was coordinated as well as they put that together. Drops right down in front of Kevin Fraze. Further back, looks like we got one driver 3 wide already. Remember, they can't do that. Unless that driver's falling back, they'll try to sort it out before anybody gets a penalty. In the 25, already on the back bumper of the 19. Got to be careful if they get too far out in front. That backpack going to get a big run on them, but they could also maybe separate themselves from that backpack if somehow they can really get it going. Do let me know, guys, in the chat, because I am seeing, remember, you got to remember, this is a 38-car field. So my computer's putting in a lot of work right now trying to make sure it processes everything smoothly. So let me know if the stream's looking a little laggy for you guys, and I can try to make some edits to it. But up front, those 3 still doing that little thing they did last time. They pulled away from the rest of the field, and you see there the 25 is locked on. Let's go right on board with him. See it right here. It's once you get locked onto these cars, it almost kind of keeps you there unless you back off. And you hear it there. Doesn't have to be full throttle. Now he's going to give Jason a little bump. Cool the car back down. Unfortunately, for some reason, iRacing won't show us their oil and water temps when we're spectating. Just shows you the RPMs. Dr. Goose says, get Ambrose a beer. Absolutely, it's Friday night. You already know what the plans are. But this man's got the best seat in the house. Jason Main's going to see if he can hold him off for 3 more laps. Get this thing finished off. Get the stage win. We are over a quarter through this race, but not yet halfway. So the fact that you guys are in here now means you're doing just as good as these drivers. Another big shot here from Kevin. These cars can handle those big bumps a lot better than any of the other series. You can really hit a guy. If it's on the straightaway, you can probably hit the driver in front of you without about a 5 to 7 mile an hour difference in speed. And it might get them a little wiggly, but they can stick it. If you tried that in the Trucks or Xfinity, not only are they going to get damaged, but they're probably going around to that outside wall. Ron Morris Jr., leader of the second pack, getting a big shot from Matt Mitchell in the 361 car. I thought he was the 36 for a little while tonight. They got Matthew McMeekin behind them. They're trying to catch this lead pack. We'll see if they can do it. Let's actually look at the screen cam from this front pack to give you a good idea of just how close they are. You see right there, they're lined up. Don't know if they're going to have enough time. Caution either going to come on the next lap or the lap after it. We'll have to see. And let's go watch. Actually, no, we'll stay up here. I was going to say, if we can. Caution is out, actually. Not sure if this was. I thought the stage caution was on. Oh, we got one spun around in the back. You saw it right there. Let's see if we can find it. Sure who it was. Still haven't found out who it was, so we're going to have to go back and take a look at it. This will, of course, take us to our stage. Let's go see what brought it out. I still was not able to figure out. Oh, here you go. This looks like Brian Kaiser. Already spun, so this must have started. Oh, yeah. Through the grass. Oh, wow. A couple guys in this. Let's look at it from the pit lane cam, why don't we, here? See if we can get a good view of it. It looks like the 13's washing up the track. Oh, yeah, makes contact with Dylan Jones. They both hit that outside wall. That's a huge hit for Dylan Jones. That'll probably break a toe link or two. Oh, yeah, you already see the tire wiggling there. We'll see if it did break it or not. And a couple of these guys just piling in, nowhere to go. The one's in it, back down the track. Goes to 59. That's Mark Vondell. 23 sneaks through. Looks like David Sheets also able to mostly sneak through it. Brian Kaiser sliding through the grass. Gets you a good look at that Team 3 paint scheme. And let's ride on board here with Dylan Jones to see what exactly happened. It just looked like an incident of just sliding up. We'll see how bad his damage was. So we're going to back this up one more time. We'll go a little farther back here. Let's take a look at it here. Ride on board here. Dylan Jones, here we go. You hear it in the RPMs, that car not doing too well. That's going to be a faster pair almost definitely for Dylan Jones. I'll tell you what, looked like Dylan maybe came down a little bit. I'm not here to put anything on anyone. I would just say that looked like the 13 came up more. Dylan Jones came down the track. Either way, though, they got together, washed up into the wall, caused another wreck. It's our fourth caution of the night. None of these were scheduled. This did go over our stage break, so there will not be another scheduled caution until lap 120, which will be the end of stage 2. But Jason Maines gets the job done here in stage 1. Actually going to see real quick if we can maybe find him here. Let's see if we can. Not sure if he's hanging around right now. See what we're going to do. We're going to hop in here. I know these guys are laser focused. We'll see if he'll give us an interview real quick. We'll be right back. And I have found your winner of stage 1, Jason Maines. Jason, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. How about that performance from you from stage 1? You came from all the way starting in the back up here to the lead. What's it going to take, though, the rest of the way to finish it off?
About 4 more laps to get to that first stage. It's actually on 65. So hopefully we can keep it together for that and then avoid the mayhem that's already happened.
Oh, man, I must have had it wrong then. I thought this stage was for sure on lap 60. Either way, though, you look pretty comfortable up there. Are you and the 25 working together tonight? Because you guys sure look good bump drafting.
Kevin and Ray is who I'm working with right now. I'm not sure what it shows on your screen is a 25. But, yeah, those are the ones that are left. And them guys, we got Merck and Baker back there. And hopefully they can get back up here with us.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Let you finish this thing off.
I appreciate you, Austin.
All right. We are going back the channel, and silly me, I know Jeff actually texted me before the race too, just to add insult to injury. And wouldn't you know that I still said it wrong. I'm trying to check just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yep, sure enough. So I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Man, if I could just get one of these without any mistakes, it'd be nice. As you heard Jason Maines say it there, knows more than me, obviously. The actual stage ends on lap 65, so we are going to have a 2 or 3 lap shootout here to determine the winner. So if Jason can finish it off, that sure helped me out here. That would be your stage 1 winner. So with that, though, that does actually move your second caution, so I'll make sure I do get this one right. The end of stage 2 is on lap 130. 130 is the end of Stage 2, the end of Stage 1 here is going to be on lap 65, as you heard Jason Main say right there. I think he'll be able to hold it off, though, here. He's got a couple strong guys to his inside. You heard him say him and Kevin Fraze have been working really good together. Jason, very, very smart driver. One of the most experienced in the field tonight. Pace car pulls off. Green flag is back out. It's going to be Jason Main's getting the battle off the line. Sure enough, there's that coordination. Drops right back down to the bottom. Diving into turn 1, the whole field trying to get situated further back. Oh, I heard some contact. Oh, we got a couple back farther back. Caution is out. Oh, and it looks like Bryce Cobbler involved in another one. Not been his night so far. Driver the 24, just as I heard Matthew Baker when I was getting ready to interview Jason Mains. Not the best night for him so far. He's really hoping this thing will change. Actually, Bryce, maybe not involved. Trying to figure out where this starts more than anything. So we're going to have to play it here and figure it out. Oh, this is even further back than this. So we can watch. There's got to be a better view. Here we go. Oh, Ambrose Knievel. That's who it is initially in the wall here. We can find Ambrose. Not having the best night right now, but I can promise you he is a happy man nonetheless. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he's blinking. Oh, the engine almost sounded like it went on this car. Listen close here. Blinking there. 01 makes contact. Big hit to the back. Big hit to the front of the 01. Then everybody else trying to sneak around it. Actually, looks like the 24 of Bryce Cobbler was able to make it through without damage on that one. I thought maybe he got involved, but does a nice job sneaking through it. I do want to ride on board here, though, with Ambrose to see if we can maybe hear his engine may have went. It was a really, really weird-looking wreck right there. But he did tow it, which would make me think it had to have been an engine. Let's ride on Ambrose Knievel's roll bar right here and find out. Oh, and you saw it right there. That's a good indication. It's like he forgot to shift, though, almost. Watch his RPM. He's redlining right here. Let's go to cockpit. Oh, yeah, so it's already blown up there. He was also blinking at the time. Makes this kind of hard to review, but look at his RPMs right before this thing blows up. Boom, 9,000. There it goes. Just like that. Can't run RPMs that high. That'll happen. Gets turned around into the outside wall. Pretty hard hit. Tell you what, though, does a nice job. It looks like he kind of had the wheel angled so he could keep it up there on the wall. Keeps himself from collecting anyone else. Drivers always appreciate that. You know what this does? This gives your Stage 1 winner now officially to Jason Mains in the 19th. So I guess I did technically interview the right guy. If you are here, we appreciate you sticking with us. That's the first stage so far here of the FEG-PC 500. And I'll tell you what, this is the first race I have seen in iRacing, much less that I've broadcasted. It's going to go a full 500 miles. This is the same length as what would be the real-life race, ladies and gentlemen. You got to remember that. We have 24 people watching tonight. That's pretty good. If you're just joining in, you like what you're seeing, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you're new, give us a follow. We're trying to hit 500 subs. Got some special things coming up from Ghost, and you guys just keep giving us more and more momentum. It means the world to us. Me and Bryce, that is, who is actually in the field tonight. Not had the best night so far in the 24. Currently in the pits right now. We'll see how many laps down he is when he comes out. Just trying to repair some damage. Not sure if he's used that fast repair yet or not. From what I know, and again, let me double check this time so I don't steer anyone wrong. We're going to look and make sure. Let's check out. We did say it was top 10 payouts tonight. We have that. But I wanted to look at, and we know that Stage 2 is going to end at lap 130, but it looks like there is no special payouts tonight for the stages. Going to save the big money for the end. First place, if we would have had the full field, was going to be going home with $500. That will scale a little bit, so actually I could probably do that math for you real quick. Take 38 divided by 50. Do that times 500. So the winner is still going to be going home tonight with $380. That's still a ton of money. For the top 5 in Stage 1, Jason Mains first, Kevin Frey's second. Third is Raymond Rittenauer the second. Fourth, Matt Mitchell. And rounding out the top 5, McCall Motorsports driver Ken McCall Jr., who we saw start on the pole. Not the official pole, as that went to Matthew Baker. But, of course, those guys had to go to the back to start in the pits, as they are over 4,000 iRating. That gave it to the 03. Pace car lights are off. These guys are getting ready to go green, but we'll just take a look here real quick. Let everybody know. Not FEG, however, the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series presented by Alloy Wheel Repair Specialist. The duels are coming up February 13th. That will be broadcasted live here on Ghost Racing Networks. We had the Clash last week. Amazing race. We saw Joshua Watson get the win. We'll see if he can go back-to-back in the duels, get himself on the pole for the Daytona 500. Don't forget to catch that live here on Ghost Racing Network. Awesome series. Excited to see how far we can go with them as the season progresses. Let's go back live, though. Drivers are working their way out of turn 4. The pace cars getting ready to pull off. It's going to be the start of the second stage. Pace car pulls off. Jason Maines on the outside, leads him to green. He's going to probably try the same strategy. Sure enough, there he goes. Drops right down in front of the 25, who he's worked so good with all night. Drivers all flying at you, getting up to speed. These cars still take about 3/4 of a lap to get up to full speed. I apologize about pulling up the screen right there. I was going to say, though, the importance of what I'm seeing right here from these two, especially the 25 and the 19, that is, being able to lock up that good and pull away this early. At the end of this race, if we were to have a late restart, a couple laps to go, you can link on without letting off for about a lap and a half in these cars before you're going to have to get off that guy if you don't want to overheat. So if those two get a late restart, they'll do what they've been doing on every one of these restarts. The field may not be able to catch them in time. Pull up the track map again here real quick. Let's see how the field is already spread out. Looks like we got a couple guys sitting further back right now. A couple on pit road even. And who is this we see sitting back here by themselves? Bryce Cobbler drafting with the 13 right now. It looks like they are all still in this lead pack. Actually, no, they're in a second pack. Lead pack. Actually, there's 3 packs right now. That quickly, that's how much they can get spread out, especially when you got this first pack doing what they're doing right here, lining up and absolutely moving right now. Let's take a look at the difference in lap times, why don't we? You see it the last 2 laps. We'll look at the last lap, actually. 45.463, absolutely flying lap for Ron Morris Jr. But let's look at Jason Maines. That'll be a little bit more important. It looks like it is a 45, as long as I'm seeing that right. 45.627. Let's compare that. The leader of this second pack here, if we can find. It's going to be Sean Boundy. See a 46.8, and that's a pretty big difference in lap time. That'll add up really quickly. Those guys are going to have to get it settled out pretty quick if they want to catch up. But Jason Maines controlling this little 6-car group. And they are trying to pull away from the pack behind them to make it 4 packs. Still haven't heard much noise tonight from Daniel Eberhardt or Dylan Jones. Very uncharacteristic. However, they are on the lead lap and still in contention. All they got, I still think if you're any of these guys up here, just play it safe right now. That might be what we're seeing from Daniel Eberhardt. 200 laps with another stage break at lap 130. That's going to give us 60-something green flag laps. That is plenty of time to make your way to the front. No point in racing for right now when you can just ride around, make sure you stay on the lead lap, don't make any major mistakes. But I think I like being the leader. If I'm Jason Maines, I really like where I'm at right now. Further back, looks like Christopher McCauley is going to jump out of line, followed by Autumn Koger and Ron Morris Jr. We'll see if they can get up to their teammate in the 03, if he'll go with them. But that bottom line, didn't think it'd be the strongest we saw early. how fast McCall Motorsports was up on the top. But then once Jason Maines took over the lead, him and the 25 have been making sure no one's had a chance up top. They are controlling it right now on the bottom. You see everybody pretty comfortable right now. Not too much Dyson. Everybody's still on pretty fresh tires. But remember what we saw towards the end of that green flag run that we had last time before the caution came out. Guys were starting to get really, really swervy. A couple really close near misses because these cars just don't handle as good on old tires. And it looks like that second pack has now lined up. Let's see if they're catching. It is being led by Cody Reed. And sure enough, it looks like... Sorry, not Cody Reed. I do apologize. Looks like it is being led by Sean Boundy. They're currently sitting 2 seconds back and closing right now, but it's not at that faster rate. Any mistake, and they very well could lose it, but they do have it to about 1.5 seconds, so I think they're going to be able to catch this group. Ron Morse Jr. actually leading. We did have Christopher McCall try another move. Couldn't get it right there. And it is something to know. I did hear this from Jason the other day as well. And it's so true, talking about just how quick the momentum swings in these cars. You go from first to the middle to first all the way to last. It's quite insane just how much the momentum changes in these cars. Ron Morris Jr. hanging on the back of that lead pack. Sean Boundy still trying to lead this group. He's got Daniel Eberhardt behind him. And I'll tell you what, if you're trying to catch a group, that's a good push to that behind you. They now have it within to 1.5 seconds, so they are on the draft. Just a little bit more, and they will be there. And with the 90 now linking up to the 34's bumper. And I think if this was reversed and we saw Dylan Jones in the 90, Dylan Jones behind his teammate with nobody out in front of that 90 car, they would have already been up here. We know how good those two can get together. But Daniel Eberhardt, I don't think he gives himself enough credit. We heard him one night. He said he's not as good of a pusher as his teammate. He said he just can't figure out how to push. I disagree. Watched him in the Podium 500 heats. I'm watching him here tonight. And they caught this draft. They are back in it. Certainly looks to me like that 90 knows how to push. Looks like they are going to be going around a lap car. That's going to be Mark Von Dell. Started out really strong. Got involved in a couple incidents and unfortunately has fallen victim to a lap car tonight. Ambrose Knievel looks like he is on pit road. He might be done for the night. Daniel Bell did retire. Mark Von Dell currently sitting in 36. So we do have 28 cars. It was what it looked like right there on the lead lap. Mark Von Dell going to try to stick in this lead draft. But he is 8 laps down, unfortunately. So Mark's night not going great right now. But he does have a pretty clean-looking car from what I could see. So he can still help his teammates. That's one of the best things about being on these big teams. Even if you go a lap down, it'd still be a good night. And I am starting to get squeaky. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. My voice is really starting to go. I lost it yesterday in a soccer match. Not translating too well tonight. 75 laps through so far. And we are 25 laps from halfway through this big event. 38 car field, just about as much as we would see in the real life Daytona 500. Get these big events, get big payouts. It's a little bit of a different format. When we saw Speed Week, first place went home with a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, some other positions also went home with a lot of money. It was a little bit bigger of a payout, I believe about 1,800 more. So I guess you might say a lot bigger payout. But tonight's payouts, it's almost more of a spread of more positions getting more money than it is first place getting the most money by like a huge margin. I think I like that. I like to see that. Kind of puts more of a team effort into it, which is what we see in the real life Daytona 500. But that's going to be off tonight when we get to the end of this thing, I got to believe. We will almost guaranteedly see another, actually we will not maybe, we will see another pit stop if we are to go green before this next stage caution. See who can run it the cleanest. Let's look at the track map again, and we'll go through your field here, starting from the back, and we'll work our way up. Daniel Bell no longer on the track. But we'll go to Ambrose Knievel, who has also looked like he has retired for the night. Mark Von Dell is on track. Currently 8 laps down. We have Matthew Baker. He has not had a great night so far. Let's see, it looks like he is 3 laps down. So not out of it. I know he's probably not feeling good, but he is technically not out of this still by any means. He's got Jeff Merck behind him. Bryant Newmingham, a lap car. So is Richard Elliott, Joshua Watson. Chris Cronin, 28. He's had his fair share of incidents tonight. Bryce Cobbler in the 24. He is one of the only 2 cars a lap down right now, so he is still fighting for it. Let's see who he's fighting. He's fighting Brian Kaiser, it looks like. Actually, we'll see. You can see that. Yep, Brian Kaiser is who he's battling for it. He's got to be careful, though, here. I know he probably wants to pass, but if he gets involved in any incident that brings out the caution, it wouldn't matter if he even beat out Brian Kaiser. He wouldn't get it. Brian Terry's up here in 28th. 27th, Art Greco. 26th, Chad Ross. 25th, James Kaufman. That's a Team 3 driver. How about Eddie Hawks? McCall Motorsports driver up here in 24th, Jeff Merck. He's up here pushing Matthew Baker, who is laps down. Terrence Bonney, Jason Julian, Ron Morris Jr. And this is where we start to get a little bit closer to that front pack, which has gotten a lot bigger all of a sudden. Ross Leanbach, Danny Eshelman having a good night. Matt Mitchell, Stephen Page. That's a Team 3 driver up here. Right in front of him is teammate John Mullahan, Dylan Jones, David Sheets, McCall Motorsports driver. Sean Boundy, who's had a good night. Christopher McCall. Autumn Koger, Daniel Eberhardt III, who has now made his way up here. We see some double file action. We'll get to it in just a second. John Ward, 8th. Sean Hill, 7th. Cody Reed, 6th. Ken McCall Jr., 5th. Matthew McMeekin, 4th. Remy Rittenauer, the 2nd, 3rd. 2nd, Kevin Fraze, and your current leader, Jason Maines. Looks like Daniel Eberhardt, though, who has made his way up here. He's ready to try to get himself in the lead a little bit. And that 90 car getting to the outside. He's going to draw some help from Ken McCall Jr. They're also going to get a little pull right here off this lap car. We'll see if it's enough for them to get clear. But Jason Maines, that 25 and the 87, those 3 have not made any moves on each other. They've all stuck together. It's working good because the rest of the field has had nothing for them since they've taken the lead. You see it from the spotter view there. The 25 gets on his bumper, gives him a huge shot down the straightaway. Next time they get on the backstretch, we'll actually take a look at their speeds. See just how fast they're running. But you see it here. This outside is really trying to form. They got a lot of guys on it. Kevin Fraze is going to have to start pushing a lot harder on the 19 because the 90 is coming with the head of steam, and he's got a veteran pusher and Ken McCall Jr. behind him into turn 1. The outside getting bigger and bigger in the mirror. We'll see if anyone decides to jump up to it. We've seen before where these 3 working together, they might have the 87 jump up top so they can try to manage both lanes. And then we'll see if the 90 decides to take it 3 wide. Big run on the outside. Let's go back to the spotter view here so you can see it. You don't quite see him in view just yet. But there they are into turn 3. Looks like the 34 decided to jump high as well in front of the 90. Who else is going to go with them? They've got a head of steam now. Daniel Eberhardt's going to give a big push to the 34. They're also going to catch some more draft here. No, he actually looks like I thought he was going to take it 3 wide for a minute. Ducks back down into that outside line. He realized maybe he's just actually getting a little bit of air for a split second. But they are getting a little bit of extra draft off that top car in the 28. It's going to get a little sketchy here as they go 3 wide around him. No issues yet. Everybody keeps it clean and tight. Down the backstretch, the 90 has found the bumper. Huge run on the outside. Look at the speed. You see it, 195, 96, 97. The 25 now found the back bumper again to the 19. They have gotten about even. This is where the side draft might start to become important. You can push in the turns, but we have been running on green here for a decent amount of laps. This car's maybe not going to handle too well if you try to push in the turns at this point. We'll see what Daniel Eberhardt decides to do here. He is certainly getting all over the bumper with the 34. Jason Maines, though, still holding the lead by about a car length into turn 1. It looks like Terry, the driver of the 13, Brian Terry, has gone a lap down, so that's going to add the list of cars 1 lap down to 3. Robert Miller still rooting on McCall Motorsports. Says, let's go. Ken McCall Jr. up there trying to do it. He's got his teammate Sean Hill behind him. John Ward also up in this mix. So is David Sheets. So they are up here. They're making sure their presence is known so far tonight. Team 3, on the other hand, not been a great night so far, but we know anything can happen still. 84 of 200 completed so far here tonight at Daytona. It looks like the 34 now gets a nose out in front. Not enough to take the lead, though. Down the backstretch could be a big factor this time if the 90 can link up early. They might be able to get clear. We'll have to watch it. Ooh, the 25 got right to the bumper. So did the 90. And it's going to be a dead drag race right now. Really good job for both. Oh, the 25 did have to back off, though. So does the 90 now. Daniel Eberhard as they make their way into turn 3. And this is different. I like these guys being conservative right now, not pushing in the turns. Because like we talked about at the start of the broadcast, you certainly can do it. It obviously is going to be a lot more risky, but you can do it. I think at the end of this thing, we'll see it. The 34 looks like it's going to get clear by half a car like now. Wasn't able to jump down, though. We'll see if he can do it into turn 1. He gets clear, trying to drag Daniel Eberhard with him. The 90's going to make the move first, though. Daniel Eberhard to the inside, your new leader. What a move from the 90. He's known for doing this. And he takes the lead over from Jason Maines. We'll see if Jason's wanting to ride or if he tries to make a move right back on the 90. Big push from that third car in the 25. Now Jason Maines links up with Daniel Eberhard. On the outside, Ken McCall Jr. He's going to give pushing in the turns a little try here. Teammate Sean Hill behind him if he decided to go 3 wide. Christopher McCall up here as well. Let's give Chris a shout out. We always talk about Chris, but we don't really show him too much on the broadcast. The driver of the 30, one of the most aggressive on the team in my opinion. Famous quote from Ken about him as bad teammate. We don't have it up right there, but the driver out of Savannah, Georgia, having a nice run so far. It's going to be interesting to see if people decide to pit early or late. I almost think maybe you wait to pit later just because we saw a couple people get trapped a lap down. Last time when we had a caution fallout right after, you see Sean Hill and Ken McCall Jr. able to get clear of that inside line. It was a little close, but it looks like so does the 34 actually of Sean Boundy, and we'll see what Jason... Oh, they're going to decide to pit this time, actually. That's sure enough what they decide to do right here. Looks like they all get in clean. No surprise there. They bring in a couple more with them, too. Looks like Cody Reed's going to come down pit road. So is Dylan Jones. Surprised Daniel Eberhard didn't go, because Dylan and Daniel are teammates. Usually you'll see them together. And this is probably going to start drawing in the pit stops. I think these guys know they want to get out quick, but that top lane not going to be able to pit right now from where they stand. Looks like Ken McCall Jr. was going to let him down. Daniel Eberhard, no assistance needed, though. Shoves that 34 all the way to the lead. And now they are going to drop to the bottom, I would think, unless they're not planning on pitting this time. There goes Sean Boundy to the inside. And it looks like we are going to have Ron Morris Jr. Looked like he ducked down, was thinking about pitting, realized no one was going to go with him. Smartly got right back up on the track. You don't want to pit if you don't have anyone going with you. It is an absolute no-no. You'll get stranded out by yourself. Christopher McCall, though, he wants the lead. He's thinking nothing about pit stops, and he's going to have a good pusher behind him. Trying to steal it from the 34 of Sean Boundy, who's got David Sheets behind him. David Sheets been up here quite a bit so far tonight. Not really making too much noise, just staying up here. I think we'll hear a lot more from him, though, at the end of this race. But I'll tell you what, right now, if I'm up in this pack and I want to go to the lead, I'm looking for that 90 car. Daniel Eberhard just continues to pour it on to whoever gets in front of him. Gets the 30 and himself clear. Maybe even the 92, John Ward, going to get clear as well. We'll see if they decide to jump to the inside. This might be where we see the top starting to form back up. Let's see how this group played out that we saw pit. It was led in by Jason Maines. Going back to him here real quick. It looks like here we go. You can look at your track map. See where they're currently at. Down the back stretch, of course. It looks like all four. Actually, where's Dylan Jones in this pack? Oh, Dylan Jones. Ooh, he is borderline on the draft. Oh, looks like he just lost it. Not what Dylan wanted to see in that 11 car. He's going to need somebody to catch up with him to have any chance now. Catching back onto that group who's just going to pull away. What is going to be interesting to see if that group makes up time or loses time on this main pack right here. They're starting to line up top, and they might start to run some really fast laps here all of a sudden. We'll have to see, but that's where the battle's going to be on. Usually in the shorter races, what we'll see is the guys will pit as early as they can and then just try to run the fastest laps that they possibly can. Not seeing that from these McCall Motorsports drivers tonight. Daniel Eberhard didn't pit with his teammate either. Decided to stay out, laying it to the back of the 30 right now of Christopher McCall. Those two he has a similar paint scheme to Kent McCall Jr., who has fallen back a little bit, still in this lead pack. But he's behind his teammate David Sheets, and they are both behind the 34 of Sean Bounty. The 18, that's Stephen Page, Team 3 driver. Right in front of him, John Mullihan, who we said hasn't been really doing too much tonight, but he's been sitting at the back of these drafts. He's waiting. He knows we still got a long ways to go. 10 laps from halfway now here in the FEG-PC 500. Field flying down the backstretch. We do see speeds about 200 miles an hour over. Daniel Eberhardt jumps down to the bottom. I think that means he's getting ready to pit. He knew he wouldn't have anyone with him. But I think maybe he was hoping a couple of these other guys are thinking about pitting. He's not going to be able to go in this time, though. Wouldn't have had anyone follow him. So right now, first place is Christopher McCall. Second, John Ward. Oh, hold on. I got a little thing down here. I'm just checking this. John Ward, third. Autumn Koger, fourth. Sean Hill, and rounding out the top 5 right now, McCall Motorsports driver Ron Morris Jr. John Mullihan going to drop below the 76. He's going to get help from his teammate Stephen Page, Daniel Eberhardt behind them. But up front, John Ward got linked onto the 30, and you see the distance they're putting on that group behind him right now. Everybody's starting to drift back up to the top lane. We still see a couple cars on the bottom. These guys have not decided to pit yet. They are in the fuel window to make it to the end of the stage now if they'd like to go. However, they are choosing not to just yet. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at Christopher McCall's last couple lap times. We're going to compare that back to where Jason Maines is running. So, sorry, pull up the lap time here for you. Let's see. You see lap 91, 92. Let's pay attention to those two numbers, 47.4 and 47.3. And just in general, oh, one in the wall hard further back. That's going to bring out the yellow. I saw it in the background. The 76, Ron Morris Jr. gets tangled up with the 13 of Brian Terry. It was a lap down. Big damage to the 76 on both sides and the front. And this is going to help out those leaders. Maybe not so much with Jason Maines and them wanted to see. Actually, no, it should work out for them because they will stay out here, I got to think, unless they go in for tires. We'll have to see how it plays out. But let's go see what brought out the 6th caution of the night. And I've already made contact here, so we're going to back this up. We're going to watch it from the screenshot view right here first. I'm not sure if they were 3 wide just yet, but on the inside, that is the 4. I believe this is Matthew. Before I say it, I believe that's Matthew McMeekin. Yep, sure enough, that's who that is. Let's watch it slow here. I think he's going to maybe drift up. Watch the 41 here. So they're going 3 wide right here. Yep, off turn 2, 41 drifts right up into the 76 of Ron Morris. They both go up into the 13 of Brian Terry. Pretty hard hit for all 3 of these guys. Everybody else scatters. Looks like they're able to avoid it. So that one didn't collect a lot. But Ron Morris Jr. not going to be too happy with that one. They were all just running pretty consistent. Not sure if the 4 just didn't know he was up there. Or just kind of was maybe sleeping just a little bit at the wheel, trying to drift up. We've seen this happen before. Nothing, just a little bit of a rookie mistake. Let's go back one more time and ride on board with the 4. See if we get any insight. What happened? He's kind of in his blind spot here a little bit. Yeah, just kind of drifts up. Didn't sound like he got too bad of damage, though. Unfortunately, Ron Morris Jr., he certainly did. Let's go back live, where you're going to see all these leaders in the pits. Go to your pit road here. There they all are. They're going to make sure they take themselves some tires. And we'll have to see how tough. Oh, we got one spun in the box. That's Christopher McCall. Oh, we got a couple more spinning and hitting into the box. My goodness, the 4. John Mullihan just goes back out. Not sure what happened there. Usually we don't see stuff like that here on the pits. Jason Maines and his teammates for tonight, they all decided to come back down the pits. They know how valuable tires and extra fuel are at tracks like this. Maybe I shouldn't put it that way, because usually not too valuable for the tires at tracks like this, but in these cars it certainly is. And your current top 5 shakes up a little bit here. Current leader is going to be Cody Reed in the 26. Driver out of Middletown, Ohio. Doing a nice job up here. Ross Leanbach in the 3 car. He's also up here. In 3rd, John Ward, McCall Motorsports driver. 4th, Team 3 driver, Stephen Page. And 5th is going to be Sean Boundy in the 34. Driver out of North Hills in the VRX Simulators paint scheme. Involved in that last incident right there. Sorry, he was not the one I'm thinking of. Matthew McMeekin. If you are still with us, appreciate you being out here. We are just about halfway through this long event. It is pretty grueling, I won't lie, but it's a good event. These guys are putting on a good show. A lot of aggressive racing so far tonight. Let's see who all has played back out on the lead lap from this. Looks like Dylan Jones, the last car on the lead lap, which makes 25 cars on the lead lap. Bryce Cobbler may have got the lucky dog. I don't think he did, actually. I think he's just coming out of the pits. It doesn't look like he did, but we got a lot of guys that are 2 and 3 laps down. And they are hoping for a couple more of these cautions real quick to get them a chance to get back out here and get on the lead lap. But that is going to move. Yeah, Brian Kaiser actually did get the lucky dog. And that is going to move Bryce Cobbler into position for the lucky dog. However, he's not going to get it for free. He's going to have to fight with a couple guys for it. You just heard the command there. Not going green this time. We are going to delay it for a lap. Pace car turns the lights back on. He doesn't like what he sees out back. Race control letting him know. We're going to do it one more time before we go green. And with that, we are going to play another ad tonight so I can go get a drink of water. But stick with us here on Ghost Racing Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. You are watching the Green Ghost on Ghost Racing Network. It's the FEG-PC 500 under the lights at the high banks. We've completed 97 laps of the 200 so far, 6 cautions. We do have the end of stage 2 coming up on lap 130. So all these guys not going to have to pit until then. So we're going to get a little aggressive racing action here, I got to think. We'll see who all can stick with the pack this time. Looks like that inside is pretty long. That's a lot of guys that decided to come down and top off. Pace car pulls off. Cody Reed takes the green flag. '92 John Ward gets on his bumper just about right away. Stephen Page on the outside. Gonna get a huge shot from Sean Hill. We'll see who can get it going the most down the backstretch. Sean Hill, big shot to the 18. You see him locked on. We'll see if John Ward can get to the bumper of that 25 before they get clear on the outside. Sure enough, he does. The 3 wiggling all around. He is giving the 18 all he's got. Not going to be enough, though, into turn 3. Both lanes still tandemed up. Sean Hill's got to be a little careful here. I know he wants it. He pushed a little too hard, though, in the turn. That could get that 18 out of shape and turn around further back. Looks like we had a guy slide in. I thought at first maybe he was going to go around. But he keeps it nice together. We see 3 wide for the back. Can't do that this early, so they got to dip out of it. That's Mark Von Dell falling back in the 59. Autumn Koger trying to make her way back up through the field. Matthew Baker still laps down. Bryce Cobbler, he's sitting in the middle of this pack. Currently got a chance to get his lap back. Car does have some damage to it. But right now he's going to have to pass Matt Mitchell, I believe it is. Yep, Matt Mitchell in order to get that lucky dog spot. Back up front, Sean Hill has taken the charge. Behind him is Jeff Merck. How about Jeff Merck's recovery? He was a lap car at one point. Here he is back up here fighting for the lead in second. And Cody Reed, Stephen Page have fallen back. We'll see if Jeff Merck decides to make a move, and if he does, will Daniel Eberhardt go with him? We are officially halfway. And anybody that is in the chat right now, I'll tell you what, for you guys doing all you do, if you're here right now, if you have Venmo, we'll do a little contest right here. If you can guess the winner, the first person to guess the winner that is in chat that has Venmo, I will send you $5 after the race. Caution is out, though. Further back, what happened here? Let's see. Nothing yet. Oh, here we go. Looks like we got a couple of guys slow. So many packs tonight. We'll have to see what brought it out. Couldn't tell. Let's see what happens here. So I'm not sure what's happened, so we're going to have to play this at a couple different angles. So what we're going to do here is let's try screenshot 2, and we'll go up further in this pack. Let's make sure it didn't happen up here. Oh, yep, sure enough, that is indeed where it happens. This one looks like it is going to involve Brian Kaiser and Matt Mitchell. So we'll talk. You know what? We're going to talk more about that means in a second. First, let's see what happened here in this wreck. And I think we're going to look at it from the blimp cam. That should give us the best angle of it in this case. The chopper. Here we go. I like this view. See what happens. Watching Brian Kaiser. This is further back, so I actually need to get it back to Brian Kaiser. We'll back it up one more time here and show you. Looks like 27 sliding up. Yep, Brian Kaiser just coming up the track a little bit. Makes contact. Him and the 361 get hooked together. Both into the wall. Pretty hard contact. Thankfully, only those two were collected, so caution did come out for it. Let's go up front live where your current leader is Sean Hill in the 3. Second, Jeff Merck. Third, Jason Julian. Fourth, Stephen Page. And fifth, McCall Motorsports driver John Ward. Jeff actually pit here. A couple others are going to follow him. A lot of people are going to follow him here. Little surprised to see this. With 30 laps to go, tires are still pretty important. I wanted to go back and take a look. Unless I missed something with the 361, that's Matt Mitchell being involved in that wreck. That should give the free pass to the 24 of Bryce Cobbler. Ghost Racing Network. And he's going to have another shot at it here. He's been fighting to get back on that lead lap from pretty much the drop of the green after he had to start in the back. Finally, though, looks like he might be able to catch that break. Not guaranteed yet. We'll wait till we see him go around. He's going to split the middle here. There he goes. Gasses it up. Sure enough, the 24 is going to be your lucky dog. Ghost Racing Network is back on the lead lap. You know I got to root for him. Sean Hill, though, didn't work out for him the other night in the heats. But it wasn't because he's lacking in skill, because you see it here. He's up front. He knows how to get it done. But as I was going to say, we're going to do a little contest here for all you guys that have stuck with me here at the halfway point, because we appreciate it. If anybody that's watching currently has Venmo, just go ahead and drop who you think is going to win the race in the chat. The first person that drops the correct race winner, you can only guess one. I'll send you $5 in Venmo after the race is over if you guess it correctly. A little something if we can to give back to you guys. We appreciate y'all coming out. It means a lot. And I know races like this are grueling, but Certainly helps out when you got these guys putting on a good show as they are. Racing was picking up action right there. You saw further back. You were thinking about fighting for the lucky dog. Baker's mom says Merck did awesome. We do have our first guess. Baker says I say Mains. And I think I might have been able to guess for you there, but that's a good pick. It's going to be a tough one to bet against. Jason Mains currently sitting in 7th. Did fall back, though, after a caution came out after that pit stop. But he's crawling back up here. He'll be up here in no time. Lights are off. We're going to go green this time. It is going to be 26 laps before the stage end. Nobody going to have to pit. Nobody will pit unless we get another caution. And how about Dennis Cobbler saying Bryce is going to pull it off? Another Ghost Racing Network fan in here. Absolutely. Daniel Eberhardt, though, currently going to be the pusher for Sean Hill. That 3 is going to want to hold that wheel real steady because he's going to be getting a huge shot from the 90 on this restart. And how about all the rubber on these cars? They have been through 103 laps. This is officially the longest race that I have broadcasted since I've started. And we are just over halfway through. Once we finish this second stage, the action's going to start picking up, and it's going to absolutely fly by. Looks like we have a guess for Cody Reed. Elliott for sure as well, says Delaney Matthews. Richard Elliott. You know, we haven't talked about him and Joshua Watson. We're kind of working together since earlier. We will get to them in a little bit. These bigger fields, I try to get everybody usually when I can. Sometimes it's a little difficult with these bigger fields. Pace car drifts it off to the left. Sean Hill takes the green with Daniel Eberhardt behind him. We're going to watch this from spotter too. I'll tell you what. Watch this 90 car, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if he decides to make a move or stick with the 3. The 3, not sure what he wants to do right now. He's trying to make sure the 90 stays tucked in behind him. I think Daniel Eberhardt was planning on doing so until they can really start to get a gap going. 34, thinking about going up to the top. He's got to make a move. Sure enough, he does. He jumps in front of Stephen Page. The 90, Daniel Eberhardt goes up top. Huge bump to the 3, locks on. These two are going to be able to pull away a little bit. They're going to have to be careful because the back of the field is going to have a huge run once they get there. You saw Jason Mains just in the bottom right of your picture there creeping with the 1. There he is. And how about the 1? This is Eddie Hawks. He's made his way up here. That's a McCall Motorsports driver. Driver out of Sanford, Florida. And he lives not too far away from where I'm currently broadcasting this race. John Ward, his teammate, about a row back on the outside. And I think these guys really want to see the top form up. Sean Hill and Daniel Eberhardt, that is. But that bottom is not going away. Jason Mains has the 25 and the 87 behind him. Eddie Hawk's going to make a lot of progress in a hurry as they go by David Sheets and Autumn Koger. Remember, top 10 do get the payouts tonight. We've already seen a couple guys retired. But either way, we are still going to see 20-plus guys go home empty-handed. So this racing is going to get real aggressive towards the end of this thing. Let's look further back. Robert Miller in the chat says Ken McCall Jr. from McCall Motorsports is going to get the win. Looking a little further back here. Cody Reed started up front, fell back during that last green flag run. Brian Kaiser involved in the last incident. Here he is. How about Danny Eshelman? He's had an up and down night so far, but he's a real good driver. We'll see him up there at the end. Dylan Jones involved in a wreck early, just biding his time right now. Got to be careful. Jason Julian, Chad Ross, Team 3 driver, takes it 3 wide around Matthew Baker. Ooh, the 1, Joshua Watson, had to be careful right there. And there goes the 5, split in the middle. We saw somebody bring this up in the chat. Joshua Watson, that is a fast track sim racing driver. He's getting ready for the duels on Monday. Richard Elliott in 32nd, currently 2 laps down. And I'll tell you what, I know it's definitely not the spot you want to be in, but I think if you are too... Oh, we got one spun around. I'm going to hold that thought. That's James Kaufman in the 25. Yellow flag is out. Oh, huge hit. The 25. Oh, the 24 gets involved. The 59, Mark Vondell, slides in. 25, James Kaufman looked like he hit the wall a ton. Turn 1 and 2. Let's see what exactly happened here. He's already spun here, so we're going to have to back it up a little more. And I think this is going to be a good one to watch from either TV3 or spotter view. Let's try TV3 on this one. TV2, actually. Here we go. Let's watch this slow here. Watch that 25, James Kaufman. He's dropping low, trying to get in front of his teammate, John Mullihan. Unfortunately, though, he's just not quite clear right here. Comes across the nose of the 4, gets spun down to the apron. 87, Raymond Rittenard the second, shoots up the track. It looks like he's able to hold on to it. So is John Mullihan from what I can see so far. This is where it's going to get a little ugly right here. Sliding back up the track. The one, Eddie Hawks, misses it down low. Unfortunately, the one, that's Joshua Watson, can't avoid. And then the 13 comes piling in. That's Brian Terry. Matthew Baker trying to get slowed down. The 361 goes on the apron. Maybe, yeah, side swipes the 2. Looks like Jeff Merck was able to squeak by it. Then we're going to see a couple more guys sliding. You see Bryce Cobbler trying to slow up to miss it right here. Mark Vondell actually missed it. Did a good job of missing it, but then they had to check up again here. The 37 and Mark Vondell is going to make some contact there with the 24. I don't think that's too bad a contact. Bryce should be okay. Dylan Jones going across the grass. He's also trying to get by it. That wreck was a little bigger, but I'll tell you what we haven't seen yet as we go back live. We have not seen the big one just yet. James Kaufman sitting on pit road getting it fixed. Let's see if Bryce had to go pit as well. The rear, and I know some of you are like, why are you so fixated on Bryce tonight? He is the owner of Ghost Racing Network, so we got to keep tabs on him. Is the driver that I am rooting for tonight. And he is one of the drivers, but another guy that I do need to give a lot of credit to tonight that's kind of been in the same boat as Bryce, but maybe made progress a little quicker, is this man right here. That's Jeff Merck. Got a lap down early. Fought his way back up here with damage. Back on the lead lap. Saw him all the way up to second at one point. Fighting hard, doing a good job. Looks like we did have a handful of entries for this little competition we put on. We'll see if any of you guys get it right. The votes were Jason Maines, Bryce Cobbler, Cody Reed, Richard Elliott, and Ken McCall Jr. If any of those drivers win, whoever picked them, I will send you $5 through Venmo as a thank you for you guys sticking with us here halfway through. Don't usually have a lot to give away, but brutal one tonight. Still thinking of certain things for Ghost Racing Network to come. A lot of big things. And if you are in here, if you've been in here at all tonight, you like what you're seeing, don't forget to give us a like. The subscribe button if you're new helps us out trying to get to 500. Let's talk about your top 5, though. Sean Hill currently first. Second, Daniel Eberhardt third. Sean Boundy fourth. Jason Maines. And fifth is Stephen Page in the 18. Pace car going to probably turn the lights off this next time. So we are going to have about a 19-lap shootout here before we get to the end of stage 2. Then after that, there will be no more scheduled cautions, although I don't know if I think we'll go green the way with it's been so far. So far tonight, we have had 8 cautions, and those have all been brought out by the drivers. We didn't actually have the one caution brought out by race control because we had a wreck right before it was going to be brought out. Been a pretty good night of racing, though, so far here in FEG-PC 500. Only 500 event I know of so far of the year besides the podium. I know Ron Morris Jr. is putting on a prelude to the 500, which comes up soon. He's got a lot of sponsors, a lot of cool prizes, big cash giveaway. Make sure you go check that out. And then next stream you guys will see here on Ghost Racing Network is going to be Monday. The Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series presented by Alloy Wheel Repair Specialist. Green flag at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be the duels. The guys getting ready for the Daytona 250, which is going to be next Monday, not this one. We are gearing up, getting real excited for that one as well. And if you see your driver out here, a couple of them, at least some of the ones that I saw you guys typing in chat. Ken McCall Jr., Jason Maines. Not sure if Cody Reed is it. Richard Elliott, I'm also not sure of. But I know some of these guys are going to be in the LCQs and the duels tomorrow for the Podium 500, which that is a very big event. A lot of guys, I'm talking Coke Series, anything you can think of. And the best drivers in iRacing are in that event. Daniel Eberhardt also going to be in the duels. Go out and support those guys. You can watch on the Podium Twitch channel. We'll be in LCQ1 tomorrow. Hopefully I can get myself in there as well. Pace car is going to pull off. My voice is almost gone, but I'm ready to go again here. Green flag. Sean Hill rolling into the Geico restart zone.
Green flag, green flag.
Back green here at Daytona. That 3 got a really big jump this time. Immediately jumps to the top lane. Likes Daniel Eberhardt being behind him. Little surprised that he left that bottom as quick as he did. That's going to shuffle Sean Bounty back as we see Jason Maines drop to the bottom. He's ready to go. He's going to get help from the 25. Sean Hill finally gets some help from Daniel Eberhardt, but Jason Maines might be able to clear him before they can get back up there. That outside fighting really hard, though. Actually gets back, clear the inside. How about that move? From the 3, decides not to drop down, though, and I don't blame him with the push he just got from Daniel Eberhardt. I'd stay up top, too. Saw the 90 drop down for just a little bit of air for the second. Gets back in line down the front stretch, though. Oh, a lot of moving around from these guys. Got to be careful here. $18 laps to go before the end of stage 2. You don't get any prize for winning the stage, but you certainly want the track position for that last stage. You're going to want to avoid any chaos that happens. Jason Maines back out in front. It's almost like these 3 move as one unit, don't they? The 19, the 25, Kevin Fraze, and Raymond Rittenauer the second. If you see one of them make a move, you see all 3 of them make the move. It's part of what makes him so dangerous. Further back, we'll see if anybody has anything for him. Daniel Eberhardt had to regroup himself, gets back on the bumper of the 3, and they're going to try to get it going again on that top line. Currently 26 cars on the lead lap. Ken McCall Jr. is the last one on it. Bryce Cobbler up to 24th. Danny Escherman up to 23rd. Dylan Jones doesn't have his teammate anywhere around. John Mullihan. How about Terrence Bonney? Had a couple incidents tonight, but he's fought back, made his way up here. A lot more Dyson going around here in the back. These guys not been able to really get organized all night further back. They just kind of race each other until they all fall out of the draft, and then they line up, but it's usually too late. Up front, though, Jason Maines is starting to get everybody in a single file line on the bottom. Now the 72 is going to jump up top with help from the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. That's Art Greco. He's going to go try to get himself in the money. Top 10 do get paid, so right now the last money spot would go to Autumn Koger in the 20 car. And you see the 3 of Sean Hill now going to try his luck at pushing the 90. So Daniel Eberhardt going to switch roles. Jeff Merck, Slicing, and Dyson further back. He's got the 1 of Eddie Hawks behind him, but this outside hasn't been able to make progress since Jason Maines initially took it over with Kevin Fraze and Raymond Rittenauer the second. You see just how dirty the front end of that 25 is, and you see why right there. He has been getting right on the back bumper of Jason Maines. And this has certainly been an endurance race. That's what happens at the end of these things, and we still got quite a ways to go. 85 laps to be exact. This top lane now going to be led by Jeff Merck. Still haven't got it going just yet. That's a promising sign. Finally starting to make up a little ground. We can take a look from the spotter view to see if we see it. Nothing yet. The 90 wasn't able to get to his back bumper. You see Christopher McCall on their inside. Eddie Hawks, David Sheets. That's 3 McCall Motorsports drivers all lined up. And the 3 behind them. Let's give the 3, not Sean Hill the 3, but the other 3 that we see in here. Actually couldn't tell exactly who this was. Trying to find out. May have been. I'm not sure exactly who that is. It's a good looking paint scheme though. That's why I was looking for it. Back though, you see Brian Kaiser back here in the 27. He's got a good recovery after he was involved in that wreck on the backstretch. Jason Maines still out front. That outside is pushing, but they're not pushing quite as hard as this inside. Pull up the dashboard. 196. We're going to watch these speeds the next couple laps. You'll see it really peak when that 25 gets nice and close to that 19's bumper and shoves the heck out of them. And now looks like they're going to go to the top lane. They saw the momentum starting to shift. And we'll see. What does Jeff Merck do? Is he going to try to drop low? No, Daniel Eberhard is, though. It's going to be followed by Sean Hill in the 3. Autumn Koger behind them. Jason Maines decided he'd try something a little different. We'll see if it works out. Boy, they made up a lot of ground through turns 1 and 2, though, that time. Sean Hill giving it to the 90 right now. They're going to get side by side with Jason Maines. Sean got to be careful here. I know he wants to push. Can't push too aggressive, though, into the turn. Can give little bumps with these cars, but just a little mismatch on the left or right side could turn that car right around. That's not what you want to see. But what a job pushing by the 3. He's going to get Daniel Eberhard clear. Now he's going to jump to the top, try to get the lead himself. And these guys can go 3 wide if they want now, but we really haven't seen much 3 wide tonight. It's almost like you don't see it in these cars as often. You'll see it at the end when some of these guys know they have to get to the front from the back. As we see Jason Maines give a little bump to Sean Hill right there. But what I was going to say is you haven't seen 3 wide as much. First of all, because these cars don't handle as well. And if they get 3 wide, there's a lot more risk. I think a lot of these guys know that. But also the momentum just swings so much. You really don't need to go 3 wide like you do in the truck and Xfinity to have a chance of going to the front. You can go to the front by just doing what we'll probably see Jason Maines do here in a moment and drop to the bottom. Right now, though, he's sticking to the bumper of the 3. I think he might be trying to pull that 25 and maybe the 87 as well with him before they make a move. Nope, there they go. He's going to bring the 25. Actually, the 87 does drop down. That's going to leave Sean Hill all by himself. Daniel Eberhard going to jump back up to the top, and I think Daniel realizes to have a chance he's going to have to help this guy because he knows that those 3 on the bottom are all working together tonight. 25 looks like he's going to try to get a little air. Jason Maines lets him have it and then goes back up to the top. I think they really want to keep everybody up top if they can. 3 wide further back. Daniel Eberhard now drops back down to the low side. This time Sean Hill wasn't able to get in front of him. He's waiting for help from Cody Reed. I think that top lane is the place you want to be, especially on these. I don't know though. I think on the bottom on older tires, the car feels a little bit more secure in the back end. You are running a lot faster on that top line, and let's see the speed they get here down the backstretch. You got your little dashboard there on the bottom right. Take a look at it. You might notice it says 5th gear. If you didn't know, yes, these next-gen cars, unlike the traditional NASCARs, stock cars, if you will, these have 5 gears instead of 4. Let's see the speed they get up to, though. This time down the back, Daniel Eberhard drops back down low, 193.94. We have seen a couple 200 miles per hour today. Not going to hit it this time, but they sure got close, 198. Looks like we got Mr. FEG himself, Jeffrey Ford, has joined the chat. Says, good morning, Austin. Absolutely. Good morning to the rest of the chat as well. As it is now 12:08 a.m. on a Saturday morning. 120 laps through the 200 laps in the FEG-PC 500. Jason Maines currently leads 2nd. Kevin Fraze 3rd. Raymond Rittenard the 2nd. 4th, Autumn Koger. And 5th is Daniel Eberhard the 3rd. See Jeff letting you guys know tomorrow we have trucks at Talladega. Normally I would have an announcement up. I did not see the poster for it though, so I was not able to get one up for it. And Jason Maines' strategy is working out. We are seeing the whole field now start to really stay on this top lane, but that's what it takes, right? You got to have at least 3 guys willing to stay on the top. These 2 cats, they don't want to stay on the top. Daniel Eberhard, Sean Hill, 2 of the more aggressive guys. They want to go to the front, and that's what they're trying to do right now. Daniel Eberhard jumps back up top to try to catch a draft. They would have had help from their teammate there in John Ward. We'll see what Autumn Koger decides to do. And they could get about 4 or 5 cars lined up if they really want to go on the bottom right here. 3 McCall Motorsports teammates. And then Daniel Eberhard, who has been working with them so well so far tonight. But this single file action, we'll see how long it holds. But how about Autumn Koger? Let's give her another shout out. She's set in the back, but here she is up here in 4th currently. Let me actually scroll down to her. There we go. Autumn Koger, driver out of Asheville, McCall Motorsports driver, OSR owner. We have not seen OSR anymore, but that was a cool little leak while it ran. We did have Autumn up in the booth in a couple of our early broadcasting days. Well, we still are in our early broadcasting days, but she's not really making a move just yet. She seems to be pretty content where she is. We are going to have that stage break on lap 130. So there still might be a lot of these guys just trying to ride it out till then. Let's go further back here and see how everybody's doing. That's Ross Leanbach that's in that 3 car. I like that paint scheme a lot. That would get my vote tonight for one of the top paint schemes. And you can see it from that angle. A lot of different packs. We go a little further back where Bryce Cobbler, Ghost Racing Network creator and owner, is leading this group. Behind him is Chad Ross, John Mullahan, Dylan Jones, Danny Eshelman, Ken McCall Jr., and James Kaufman. Further back is the last car on the lead lap. John Ward. Oh, no. What happened to John Ward here? Oh, no. Oh, wow. A lot of things just happened. Yellow flag is out. That's what happened. Further back. Oh, we got a huge hit right there from the 3. Wasn't able to slow down. Oh, we still got guys sliding in. Everybody trying to miss it. What happened? This looked like this might have been a big one. All of a sudden, I saw John Ward on pit road, and we were looking through the field. What happened here? I think first, before we go to the caution, we need to see what happened. We're here. Where did this start? Let's go to... Looks like Sean Hill was involved, and he was one of our front runners. So let's try to find him here. Let's go to Sean. Here we go. All in this pack. Let's see if we can figure out what happens right here. I think we're going to need a wider camera angle on this one. So we're going to go to the blimp. Let's see what happens. Ooh, further back, there's contact. They keep it together, though, there. That's not the main incident here. It's just going to happen something with John Ward. The 90 drops low. Here comes the 3 of Sean Hill's going to go with him. Trying to get a little bit of a draft here. Gets up to the 90s bumper. No issue yet. I'm still not seeing exactly where this happened. It might happen after the travel here. John Ward's going to drop low. Inside of his teammate. Still nothing at this point. We're going to speed this up till we see what happens. This might be so. This is an interesting caution here. Drop down low again here. This might happen sometime the backstretch this time. Nothing here, and I'll tell you what, I'm at a loss for what happened there, so we are just going to go over here. See what happens back here. We'll try it this way. Because you see Sean Hill is wrecked here, so we may have just been a lap late on it. So they wreck. Okay, so there's a couple different wrecks here. Boy, this is an interesting one. Let's see what happens here. So John Ward is actually going to be in this first wreck, so we're going to go to him now. See what happens to John first. David Sheets, his teammate. Oh, they make contact. That turns the 92 around into the 34. Pretty hard hit. John Ward slides. Pretty good save. Oh, right there. That's going to do it. Oh, if he doesn't clip that tire barrier, maybe he's okay, but unfortunately that's going to end it for him. Then we'll go up front where they probably already wrecked to Sean Hill. And if he would stop moving, there we go. Let's see here. So he's pushing Daniel Eberhardt in the 90 here. Pushing him really aggressively. Oh, slides up. Doors the 25 pretty hard. The 3 spins through the grass right here. And then we had a couple more slide along and actually get involved in this. Another group goes by there. Further back. Everybody's still making their way through it. Then up here, another... Man, these guys wrecked all over the place here. And this is sometimes the danger of when the game doesn't throw the caution. Now we're going to go up to the 72 of Art Greco, because he is also going to be another spark of one of these wrecks. Let's see how this one happens. This is after Sean Hill spins. 27 tries to squeak by. A hard hit for Eddie Hawk. 72 slides down. Big hit. The inside wall slides back up, hits the outside wall, and then these guys trying to dodge. Wow, the 3 straight into the door of the 72. And that was almost like the big one, but in one of the weirdest ways I have ever seen. I cannot say I have ever seen anything quite like that. Lights are going to go off, so we spent majority of that caution period just trying to figure out what all happened there. You see Jeff say there the caution was out for Brian Kaiser. That wrecked the start-finish line, but it was so weird because we had so many different wrecks happen in the course of that lap. It started there with John Ward. He got sent down to the inside wall. Then we saw Sean Hill. Door the 25, pretty hard hit. They both went through the grass. And then we saw a third wreck in the tri-oval with Brian Kaiser. That one finally brought it out. And that one definitely took out a couple of guys. Your current top 5, though, for this restart is going to be Jason Maines first. Did lose his tandem buddy, the 25, Kevin Frade. In second, though, is going to be Daniel Eberhardt. Third, Raymond Rittenauer. The second. Fourth, Jeff Merck. And fifth is Cody Reed in the 26. So Cody's still doing a nice job staying up here. He's actually in the 25. This number does read as the 26. We are going to have, it looks like, a 2 or 3 lap shootout here to the stage break, and that will be the final caution. Scheduled caution, at least. Not sure if I would say it'll be the final caution. Looks like the 23 has made his way back up here. That's Terrence Bonney. Nice job from the driver in the 23 machine, as he fell back pretty far earlier, involved in a little bit of incidents. But here he is back up here. I'm not sure if there's an incident count on tonight's race, but if there is, some of these guys might have to be a little careful. Bryce Cobbler in 17th, slowly starting to creep through the field now after going a lap down early. Fighting for a while to get it back. That's a pretty good looking paint scheme. I don't know what you guys think, but I certainly like it. Pace car pulls off. We're ready to go back green. Jason Maines takes the field back to green here at Daytona. 87 with a good jump. Daniel Eberhardt gets right in line. Not going to mess around at all. Meanwhile, Jeff Merck jumps out of line further back to 25. Cody Reed trying to get a run going. Jason Maines, Raymond are the second. Going to jump up top with Jeff Merck. Daniel Eberhardt still stuck on the bottom. He was looking for help. Now he's going to get some from Christopher McCall, who got right on the back bumper. A lot of moving around. The 25, Cody Reed now drops to the bottom. The 87, Raymond Rittenauer, the second, is linked up nicely right now to Jason Maines. We'll see what Jeff Merck decides to do. Daniel Eberhardt has a run up top. Is he going to drop low with it? Right now he stays tucked in line. He's got the 30 behind him. We're coming to lap 129. I'm not 100% sure if the caution will be thrown at the end of lap 130 or at the beginning. I'm going to assume the end. Jason Maines still holding the field in tow, though, on the top as they work their way through 1 and 2. Daniel Eberhardt looks like he might be backing up a little bit here. Sure enough, he's going to get the 30 on his bumper. They're going to make a run at it here down the backstretch if they can. 3 wide, it looks like, further back. And there goes the 90. The 30 is going to follow. Daniel Eberhardt trying to get the lead here before the stage break. Will Jason Maines try to drop low and block it? Christopher McCall going with him, trying to get a draft. Hasn't been able to get right on his bumper just yet. Now he finds it at a turn 4. Will Jason Maines try to block? Looks like Ken McCall Jr. decides to pit here. A little bit of a surprising move, but he's going to get the track position here for that next run. Yellow flag is out, so that is going to be the stage break, and it is going to go to Jason Maines. We did talk to Jason at the end of stage 1, so we will not be talking to him again. We might find another driver, though, to talk to here in just a minute. Jason Maines, very dominant tonight, has gotten the win for both stages so far. We'll see if he can complete it, get the sweep, and win the race. It is going to be a 60-something lap green flag run once we go back green, so we still got a little ways to go. But we are 20 laps away from 3/4 through the first official FEG-PC 500, at least from what I know of. Let's go back here and take a look at a couple guys that I wanted to note that fell back from either incidents or pitting. The first one is going to be Kevin Frade. Kevin Fraze, I do apologize. I think I kept saying Frade. It is Kevin Fraze. The 25, currently running 19th, but as fast as that driver is, he will be back up there in no time, I got to believe. And then the other one, it looks like we actually had a couple. Sean Hill still back here. So is Autumn Koger. Ken McCall Jr., we saw decide to pit there. He is also back here. Bryce Cobbler, though, now up to the top 10 right in front of him. How about Jason Julian? Jason having a really good night. Matthew McMeekin, John Mullahan, Team 3 driver. Stephen Page, another Team 3 driver. They've almost got themselves in the top 5. We are going to check here. I don't think we're going to have anybody in here to necessarily interview right now. It usually just depends on who's where and what channel. We're going to look. But you know what? I'll tell you what we're going to go ahead and do. We're on Ghost Racing Network. I know right now he's sitting back in 10th, not the stage winner, but we already did talk to your stage winner tonight, and he won both of them. So let's go get an interview from Mr. Bryce Cobbler, see what he has to say about how he can try to get this thing done. All right, and we have found the man who has came back from a lap down, Bryce Cobbler. Bryce, you got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got a copy.
Well, a little different. Didn't think I'd be interviewing you. But here you are. You came back from a lap down. You're up here. You were in 10th before that pit stop. But what's it going to take to try to get up front and win this thing?
I think just avoiding all this crap that's happening. I know there's going to be more cautions, so I just picking through all that. I'm waiting for the guys to wreck. I know it's going to happen. I just don't want to be in it. I've already been in 2 of them, so I'm just trying to avoid what's going to happen later on, and hopefully I can take home at least the top 10.
I think you can do it, man. One of the questions I had for you, because I'm not sure, is do you still have a faster pair sitting in the pits?
Nope. The first wreck where the 28 slowed up, and I nicked him in the rear. I thought we were going to make it, and then he came down and clipped somebody on the bottom, and that sent them into me. I had to use it then. I didn't know how bad the damage was, and then the second wreck I got, and I actually got a meatball flag, but it was only 29 seconds of required, but 4 minutes of optional. You probably saw it. My steering wheel was basically like 90 degrees to the right, and I had to get all that fixed, but I don't have a faster pair left, so I'm kind of tiptoeing around most of this stuff. That's why I'm kind of trying to stay away from people until the end of it, because I know everything's going to unfold at that point then.
Well, you're doing good so far. Hopefully you can finish it off. Make Ghost Racing Network proud. We'll let you go.
Thank you.
We are going to leave Bryce back to the cockpit to see if he can bring it home here. Currently sitting. See, actually, I didn't see where he fell to from the pits, so we can take a look at that. Looks like he moved back to 18th, so he did drop 8 spots. Your current top 5. Let's go to TV1 so you get a better look at him. Matthew McMeekin first, second Sean Boundy, third Chad Ross, fourth Ken McCall Jr. Looks like that pit strategy may have worked out pretty well for him. And in 5th is his teammate Christopher McCall. Count Team 3 out though. They got 2 drivers right here, 6 and 7. And Dylan Jones was in a wreck earlier. He is also back up here. Jason Maines has got a little bit of work to do for him. Raymond Ritnar the second is a little further up. And Kevin Fraze looks like he is up to 10th. So those 3 are going to try to find each other, get all the way back up here. It looks like that's Chad Ross in 4th. Not sure how I missed him. But that's another Team 3 driver who has been pretty much through the woods and back so far through this race. And here he is up here in the top 5. And one of the amazing things about these Next Gens is when you think about it, you heard it from Bryce there, he had a meatball flag, which I'm sure he was not the only one. I think a lot of these guys had terminal damage. With these Next Gens, if you sit and get it repaired, the parts are a lot more replaceable than on other cars. Aero doesn't get affected as bad usually, and here they are out. That was our last stage, so we are now in the final stage of the FEG-PC 500. The money is starting to get closer. Guys going to start getting a little more anxious. It's going to be 64 laps to go. Green flag is out. 54 laps to go, rather. And actually 56 laps to go. Man, I must be tired here Saturday morning. In the turn 1, though, the 4, Matthew McMeekin up top. He's going to have to think about dropping low to defend from the 30. Everybody's still behind him, though. Good move from Christopher McCall, but if he can't get any help, he's not going to be able to make any progress. And you see his teammate, Ken McCall Jr., shoving. Oh, we just had a blink from the 4. That's why it went blank for a split second. Sean Boundy, Ken McCall Jr., see if they're going to try to ride. They are going to have to pit one time during this green flag run. You see Jason Maines on the bottom further back, trying to get to the front as quick as he can, wants to be back where he was at the end of both stages. He's got Autumn Koger in front. She's ready to go. Into turn 1. That 20 really starting to make progress now on the bottom line. That's what you get. And look behind her. This is more important. Those three, look how quickly they found each other. They're going to push that 20 clear, and then as soon as they can, they're going to try to go right around her. But Autumn, she's ready to go to the front. We do have somebody blinking in the middle of the pack right there. Oh, that's Christopher McCall. That's pretty good blinking right there. Be careful. Ken McCall Jr. jumps to the bottom in front of his teammate. And that's going to maybe help out. I know maybe she wanted to lead, but this is going to help her out overall. They can't go 3 wide just yet. At the end of this lap, they will be able to. Haven't really seen it, though, yet. Jason Maines, though, is going to maybe have to if he wants to get around. We'll see what he decides to do. Seems like sometimes the middle doesn't work as good in these next gens as it does in some of the other series. Down the backstretch, Ken McCall Jr. gets clear the outside line. We'll see if he decides to go up. Him and Autumn Koger still on the bottom. They got to be careful here. If that 19 gets clear, you better believe he's going to try to bring the 25 of Kevin Fraze and the 87 of Raymond Rittenard, the second up to the top. They do get clear now. We'll see what those three decide to do off turn 4. Up to the top goes Jeff Merck. Sure enough, there they go. That's going to strand those two McCall Motorsports drivers out on the bottom lane. They're waiting for help from Team 3 driver John Mullihan in the 4 car, who has now made his way up to 7th place. Daniel Eberhardt now goes 3 wide with the 34. Christopher McCall to the outside. You see Bryce Cobbler, the 25 as well. Cody Reed. Those two also creeping back up inside the top 10. Daniel Eberhardt looks like he thought about 3 wide, thinks better of it. Kevin Fraze running second. Back in position where he was able to keep Jason Maines out in front so comfortably for so long. Jeff Merck pushing on the back of the 87. And we'll see if these guys are going to try to hold this line until the pit stop. Matthew Baker also trying to work his way up there. I am seeing some blinking issues right now. Not sure what is going on exactly with that. And look at the push, the 25. I have just been amazed all night at these two and their ability to tandem together. That 25 gets on the back of the 19, and it doesn't matter if there is 6 cars lined up on the bottom. Those two just absolutely pull away, and the more they do this, the more tempting it's going to be for those drivers on the bottom to jump up to the top lane. Daniel Eberhardt in the middle right now. Looks like he is ready to start going 3 wide, trying to make some moves. Got to be careful here a little early. Really haven't seen 3 wide. These cars, the older the tires get, though, the worse they're going to handle. So if you're going to do it, get it now. Get as many spots as you can. We're going to move it back a little bit to this battle. Christopher McCall also now dropped to the middle lane. And what they might do here is try to shuffle most of the field down to the middle. And I am not sure what that blinking is right now, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize about it. Hoping that fixes itself. Up top, though, it's still all Jason Maines. I think Matthew Baker trying to get back to the front here so he could help his teammates, if nothing else. Right now, though, he's helping Daniel Eberhardt and Christopher McCall on that inside as they are trying everything they can to get to the front. Daniel Eberhardt got a little bit offset, but he backed off wisely. It looks like Mark Von Dell maybe towards the back. Now, we currently have 25 cars still on the lead lap. We lost a lot of guys to a lap down early, but they've done a pretty good job of not having to worry about that since then. 25 cars on the lead lap, 140 laps into a 200-lap event. That's pretty impressive. Oh, it looks like we had one of these guys get on the apron. That was Christopher McCall, I believe. Let me check. Christopher, yep, sure enough. Not sure what happened here to Chris. It's going now. Let's go see what happened real quick here to Chris. May have just gotten kind of shoved out of line all of a sudden. Let's see. Oh, I'm seeing some contact. Here we go. Let's watch this. Watch it from TV3 here. Daniel Eberhardt pushing on his bumper. Ooh, Chris tried to block too late. Got on the apron, and then he realized he wasn't going to be able to come back up, so he had to just slow it down. Wise move, and a good save overall from the 30 right there. Back live, the field still being led by Jason Maines. Looks like Dale Jr. leading them around. Daytona up top right now. That bottom is trying, but they just have not gotten anything figured out as each lap goes by. That top continues to get more and more dominant. We do see a couple different packs, so what we'll actually do here is we'll go to some of these different packs. Last driver in this pack right now Looks like it is David Sheets in the 06. Actually, no, it looks like Ross Leanbach is also hooked on. Then we got a little pack behind that just caught on. They're going to start getting racy, boys. Make sure you catch it before you do it. They got Dylan Jones, Eddie Hawks, Cody Reed, and Stephen Page. And then the next pack back contains shot. Oh, right into the wall just as we were watching it. Down into the grass goes the 37 and the 30, Christopher McCall. Oh, hard hit. In the back end, no caution yet. Now the caution flies. That's going to be a fast repair, most likely, for the 30. I don't know, though. He did square it up in the back. Oh, no, you see the right toe link is destroyed. That wreck kind of was a little surprising. I'm not even sure what exactly happened. We caught the last about 3/4 of it. Let's see what exactly happened to start this. Play it full speed for you here first. Oh, the 72 is slow. They seemed okay right here. And then, oh no, this is the, I apologize. This is the last wreck. I'm not sure what I have it on. Let's back it up more. Kind of almost in the same place though, wasn't it? A little interesting how that works. Looks like a little bit of a stack up. Oh, big stack up, contact up there. Then Christopher McCall trying to dodge it. Can't do it. Gets in the grass here. He's got that wheel turn, but it just doesn't turn in grass. Back up hard into that outside wall. So let's back this up, see if we get a different view though. But what initially caused that? It looks like just a big stack up effect, which can happen here. These next gens, the run is a lot crazier. And I want to look at this from, let's see if we can get a good view from pit lane cam here actually. Play this slow for you here. Yep, you see the 28 stacks up, 23 into the 25, 37 into 23. So they actually wrecked out in front here. See the 25, 23 get together up into the wall. That's James Kaufman. The 23, Terrence Bonnie. And then in the grass is the 37 of Jason Julian. Christopher McCall. You see Chris, he's trying to save it. You got the wheel turned to left right here. You just can't save it. Tires finally grip, but it's too late. And he hits this outside wall pretty hard in the back end. Boom. Smacks the right side of it. Breaks the toe link on that machine. Let's go back up front, your current leader. And actually, pit road is a busy place, so we'll hold that thought, as we are going to have a lot of shuffling right here. We are going to take another break, so I can go get some water real quick. I'll be right back. Stick with us. You're watching the Green Ghost on Ghost Racing Network. Back live at Daytona International Speedway. It's the FEG-PC 500. Under the lights, it's been a long but good race so far tonight. And we are 5 laps away from being 3/4 of the way done with it. We started this race at 10:05 on Friday. We are at 12:35 on Saturday. The fact that we have still had 16 to 20 of you sticking around this long. Give yourself a pat on the back for that one. It's been good racing though so far. Let's go to the front. Pace car lights are off. We're getting ready to go. We're your current leader after getting in a wreck. Didn't take him long to get back up here. It's Kevin Fraze. in the 25. Second is going to be Raymond Rittenar the second. Third, Jason Maines. Fourth, Chad Ross. And fifth, currently, Jeff Merck. And these guys are going to coordinate their restart the way they've been doing all night. Because if it's been working, and you know what they say, if it's not broke, don't worry about fixing it. I'm going to try to have that 87, I got to think, maybe slide right in front of the 25. They may not, but based off what I've seen tonight, I got to think that would be the plan. They'll probably try to drag everyone up top. It's certainly been working good so far. And we are still not quite in the fuel window. These guys can only go between 30 to 40 laps. I know that's a pretty big fuel window. I'm not sure the exact number. I'd say more like 35 to 40 laps on 100% fuel. So these guys still not going to be good to go. We don't have any more scheduled cautions. But if we get a caution in about the next 15 to 20 laps, these guys are going to be real close on fuel. Green flag is back out at Daytona. 25 gets a good restart as he's done so far all night. 87 drops right in line with Jason Maines. Jeff Merck also been working with these guys. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to try a move. And you saw it right there. Jason Maines takes over the lead. The 25, I think, said, hey, man, you're better out front. I'm better pushing. Let's switch it up. Might as well. I did have to take a bite of some food. That's why you guys heard me go silent real quick. But look at these two go. This is what we've seen all night from the 19 and the 25. They get bumper to bumper. And I have not seen any other tandem on the track link up quite as good as those two have. But now on the outside, we see a run here from the 34. That's Sean Boundy. He's getting a huge push from Daniel Eberhardt. That inside didn't link up quite as quick. You see Raymond Rittenar the second trying to push. Caution is back out. We can figure out where this was. Oh, here we go. Somebody back here. Could not tell who exactly it was. Looks like Bryant Newmingham, though, is involved in it. And it may have been the 23 of Terrence. No, it was not him. Not sure who this was. So let's go back and take a look at what brings out your 12th caution of the night. Let's see what we got here. The 18, that Stephen Page dives low. And this is, okay, so it put us on the wrong thing. That's why it had me a little confused. Let's go back here. This is where the caution actually happens. Wow, and you saw it there, Bryant Newmingham just kind of drifting down the track. Tags the 28, who has just had a rough night, unfortunately. Still out here trying, but yeah, Chris Cronin, not been his night, that's for sure. Huge hit there. That one might end his night. Right, Newmingham also with some damage. Thankfully, that one did only collect 3 cars, not the whole field. Somehow, we have not seen the big one. The weirdest incident I would say we've seen was an incident where we actually saw 3 different wrecks, and then the caution was brought out on the third one, but they were all pretty much on the same lap. Just about. Your current top 5 as they run is going to be Mr. Jason Maines first, second Sean Boundy, third Daniel Eberhardt, fourth Kevin Fraze, and fifth Raymond Rittenar second. So this changes it up a little bit. These 3 maybe not going to be able to coordinate the restart as much as they'd planned to, with Daniel Eberhardt going to be lined up on the inside. But we'll see if they can make it happen here. Looks like we do have a decent amount of takers on pit road. I like that choice. Let's actually go to it. Yeah, quite a few here. Looks like going to be led by Autumn Koger, Ken McCall Jr., David Sheets, Sean Hill. McCall Motorsports doing a good job here, making it to the end. Most of their drivers still in it here with a chance to win it. But man, Jason Maines, when he has gotten up front tonight, he has proved he is no easy pass. And I'm telling you, if you guys are still watching, now's your time. The next 25 to 30 laps, I would say, go get yourself a break, get yourself some food, some water, then meet us back here these final 20 laps, because it will get absolutely crazy. You got to remember, these guys have been on that track now for over 2 hours. They're getting antsy. They're ready to go, and they know how much money's on the line, and it's hard if they've worked to get this far. You better believe they all want to finish it off. You are going to hear me go quiet here for just a minute, so I can take a bite of food myself real quick. I will be right back, but we are going to stay live here. And that will be my last break before the end of this thing. Had to get some food. I have not ate since about 5 o'clock today, so I was really hungry. I thank you guys for working with me for that. We are not going to have any more commercials. Even if we go caution, we're staying here. It's the last quarter of the FEG-PC 500 at Daytona. Drivers working their way out of turn 4. On the top is Jason Maines. The bottom, Sean Boundy. Jason picked that top because he knew who he'd have behind him. The guy who's been tandeming with him so well, that's Kevin Fraze. In the 25. Jeff Merck trying to shuffle into a position there right at the last second. We'll see if they let him in. Not going to be able to. They're going to have a weird 3-wide restart here. Green flag is out. Looks like they get it mostly sorted out, however. Jason Maines with a good jump. So does the 25. They're both going to get clear, but it looks like everyone actually going to drag to the top this time. Into turn 1, all single file. About 15, 20 cars deep, and then we see our first double wide action further back. 60 of Jeff Merck on the bottom. He's got Brian Kaiser behind him. Sean Hill on the top. Autumn Koger in front. You see Bryce Cobbler up there. Bryce Cobbler currently 11th. Right in front of him is Dylan Jones, who has also had a remarkable comeback today and a wreck earlier. Just amazed tonight, but this is what you get as a product of these very long races. You see these guys are able to come back from deficits that you wouldn't see possible in these normal lengths. Chad Ross, another one of them. Stephen Page, he's had his fair share of contact tonight. Raymond Rittenauer the second, right now trying to get back up there and link up with the two guys he's been working so well with tonight. Jason Maines and Kevin Fraze. We will see how long before this bottom lane starts to charge. Remember, there is still another pit stop. And we'll see if these guys all decide to line up, kick some laps off before we get to it. We did put a poll out. We'll go ahead and bring it down about If you guys thought Jason Maines would get the win here in the FEG-PC 500, looks like it was a split decision. 50% of you said yes, 50% of you said no. I would definitely not bet against him. He is really fast, and he knows how to get guys that know how to work with him up there. And he is going to get himself the 25 and the 87 if he can get back up there. A lot of money if they keep doing what they're doing tonight. Talk about teamwork. Look no farther than the 19. He knows how to get guys to work together really good. If you're behind him, you're looking for him. If you're in front of him, you're hoping he's behind you. Further back. Oh, he's all 3 wide. Looks like James Kaufman got on the apron, keeps it together though. And these guys are really starting to get at it. They all shuffle back into double file. But a lot of movement, a lot of lane switching. This is allowing this outside to start to pull away. They got to be careful further back. If you do this too much, you could lose the draft. You could get away with, trying some of these things and losing the draft in stage 1 or 2. If you lose it now, you can forget about it. There's not enough time left. You would need a caution. You don't want to have to sit on a caution if you don't have to. Ooh, looks like a little stack up right there. Oh, he turns the 6. I thought he was going to be able to keep it out of him. Caution is out. This is a big wreck. David Sheets is in at the 6. Danny Eshelman still up to speed, going backwards through the grass. Ken McCall Jr. sneaks by. David Sheets gets airtime. Oh, the one that's Eddie Hawks tried to sneak by. I'm not sure if he made any more significant contact. And now this is going to put us a lot closer to that fuel window. This might be interesting, but let's go back and see what happened here. I saw him start stacking up. I was just about to make a comment on it. I thought maybe they'd be okay, but I think James Coffin maybe just turns the 6 here. Let's watch this from spotter view, why don't we? And watch the 25 there on the 6. See, they're all shuffling up right there. There's a checkup in front of the 38. These guys start getting checked up, and you see it right there. Everybody swerving out, trying to dodge checkup. 25, James Kaufman, looks like he gives the 6 a bump, but then follows him down and just hooks him right in the right rear up the track, hard into Autumn Koru, who's having such a good night. See the 6 of David Sheets slide down. He's going to get involved. The 92 of John Ward, another driver that was strong tonight. The 4's in it. That's Matthew. The 6, David Sheets back up into the track. The 37, Jason Julian, nowhere to go. He gets sandwiched in between the 3 and the 02. And a lot of these guys here, it's almost like a secondary wreck right here. Watch this. Watch this 06 and the 6 here. You'll see the 06 actually get some airtime right here. The 06 still sliding backwards. Danny has the brakes locked right there. You see it in the front. Things just not really slowing down yet. David Sheets hit the bump. There it is. Looks like a stunt right there. Gets all 4 wheels off the ground. Christopher McCall and Ken McCall Jr. both sneak by. But then right here, Eddie Hawks making an evasive maneuver. I'm not sure if he hit anything. That's what I had wanted to see. Looks like he slides up. Oh, unfortunately gets into his teammate Mark Vondell. Doesn't look too bad for both of them as long as they didn't have any issues with their toe links. And let's go back live and see what your top 5 looks like now. First place, you could probably guess who it is. Actually, we're going to have pit stop, so I'm going to hold that thought because they are going to change. It was Jason Maines, though, going into that caution. We'll see if he can keep the lead coming out. Sure enough, he does. Kevin Fraze comes out second. Looks like further back, though, we are going to have a couple differences. Third place now is going to be Dylan Jones. Fourth, Sean Boundy. And fifth, Team 3 driver John Mullahan. I believe this is the first time I've seen John in the top 5 tonight. There's a reason for that. He made sure he's up here when it counts. He knows he can't win that money till lap 200. I will say tonight of all nights, I'm really hoping these guys can put on a great finish with a good last lap. We go 200 laps of racing here. We better not end it under a big wreck. When we go green, it is going to be just over 40 laps to go. We are now about at the length of what a normal money race would be. You did hear Jeff say, tomorrow, Truck Series at Talladega. Go get yourself registered for it. See how some of these other guys are doing. They're hanging around the top 10 here. Maybe not quite in it. Let's go through the field. Why don't we hear while they count down the caution? Ambrose Knievel, Daniel Bell out of the race. Ron Morris Jr. currently on pit road. Multiple laps down. Joshua Watson, another driver that fell victim to going laps down. Coming up here, Mark Von Dell. Matt Mitchell, by the way, currently not on the track anymore. Mark Von Dell, not been a good night for him, but he's still out here trying. Going to see if maybe he can help his teammates. Bryant Newmingham, James Kaufman, 31st. Chris Cronin, another driver who's just had a really rough night in that 28 machine. Art Greco. Art's had a pretty good night overall. Unfortunately, though, got caught up in a couple incidents, led him back to where he is now. John Ward started out really dominant early. Thought he was the best pusher early. He's fallen back involved in that last incident. Richard Elliott, currently running 26. And actually, look at your tower on the left there, and you can see that we currently have 28 drivers on the lead lap now. So we've actually put a couple more of them on the lead lap. One of those being Richard Elliott. Nice recovery. Somebody did pick him to win. All of a sudden, he might have a chance of doing just that. Brian Terry, the 13, he's been in an incident. Jason Julian, also in an incident. David Sheets involved in this last wreck. And that car looks a little more banged up than I'd like to see. He's going to maybe need to go in and fix that. Christopher McCall, Ken McCall Jr., 21st. Making your way into the top 20, Chad Ross, then Autumn Koger, Danny Eshelman, Eddie Hawks, Cody Reed, Matthew McMeekin, Terrence Bonney, Matthew Baker, 13th. How about this? Didn't even notice it, but through all these cautions, guess who? The man who's so dominant, and he is going to, you better believe, he is ready to go to the front. He has been antsy all night, just waiting to get back on this lead lap. Here he is, and just outside the top 10, too. Oh, makes a little contact there with Daniel Eberhardt. No harm, no foul, but Matthew Baker, all of a sudden, he's going to have a chance at this thing. How about Bryce Cobbler, Ghost Racing Network, creator, owner, driver, out here trying to represent for Ghost Racing Network. Brian Kaiser. Let's go back up front, though. Pace car pulls off. Jason Main's going to try to coordinate this restart again with the 25. Can Dylan Jones do anything about it? Green flag is back out. Dylan Jones got right to the bumper, but it's not going to be enough. They coordinate it perfectly again. Further back, Sean Hill trying to get up to the top lane. Jason Maines, though, on the bottom. He's got Sean Boundy up top right now. Behind him is the 18. That's Stephen Page. Drivers just about 5 laps out of being in their fuel window, so it'll be interesting to see. Do guys wait, expect on another caution? Will we get one before then, or do we see guys try to pit early? Now John Mullahan jumps to the outside. He's ready to go to the front. Will anyone follow? The 87, Raymond Rittenauer, the second, looking for the 2 guys that he's worked so well with tonight. Can't find them yet. He's going to have to make up a couple more spots to get there. How about the 24, Bryce Cobbler? He's up into the top 6. Matthew Baker right behind him. That's another driver. And Daniel Eberhardt. Those 3 all wanting to go to the front. I think Matthew Baker, though, probably the hungriest of all of them right now after he had to sit back earlier. And you wonder how amazing this guy is at driving. Well, how about going from 3 laps down? It was at least 2. I thought I remember it being 3 at one point. Back to the lead lap. And not just the lead lap, in the top 10. And by the end of this thing, I think you'll see him well in the top 5, maybe fighting for the win. He gives a shot to that 24 Ghost Racing Network machine. I think the 24, we heard him say he doesn't have a fast spur. I'm not sure how bad his damage is going to affect him. He might just be cruising right now. Same with Matthew Baker. I guess we'll know if that 5 jumps to the outside, which sure enough, there he goes. Will he get any help from Daniel Eberhardt? No, the 90 is going to shuffle him out. Matthew Baker not going to be too pleased with that move from the 90. Puts that in the back of his mind. He'll remember that later in the race. And he is going to fall way back right now. But Sean Hill is going to go out of line. Maybe try to help the 5 car right here. 90, Daniel Eberhardt. Now sucking up to the back of the 24. Will Bryce Cobbler think about making a move here? He doesn't. Daniel Eberhardt's going to try it instead. Now he ducks back in line. Jason Maines, though, still out in front. We've seen him try in both lanes. Now, with 39 to go, he's back to the bottom. How long before he tries to go to the top? I think we'd have to see that top form first. But I think more importantly why he's on the bottom right now is we're going to have pit stops still. And he doesn't want to be on that top line and have to risk maybe not being able to get down on the lap he wants to pit. At 25, though, I think he's going to get my move, or get my vote for the best driver of the race so far. Don't get me wrong. Every single one of these guys is extremely talented, but just the way, the willingness he's had to just work with that 19 for the better overall progress of both of them tonight has just been phenomenal. Let's take a look a little farther back. We'll actually go through a little bit of the guys on the lead lap. Further back here is Chad Ross. They got a little pack here. couple Team 3 drivers. McCall Motorsports, David Sheets also in it. And then we go up where we have Danny Esserman. Autumn Koger, the 28, was also in that pack. He is lapsed down, though. That would be... I'm trying to make sure I knew who that was. It is Chris Cronin. I've seen Chris a lot. Not sure how I wasn't able to remember his name right there. But John Ward is also in this little pack. They are going to try to catch... Well, Christian McCall also... They're trying to catch this pack right now. They are 4.8 seconds back. It's about hanging even, maybe losing just a slight bit this pack of race. Oh, we do have one in the wall. That's the 23. Looks like he keeps it together. That was Terrence. Nicely done, Terrence Bonney. Thought maybe he'd cause a big one right there. Thankfully, he didn't. Back up front, still Jason Maines. Dylan Jones hasn't moved from that third spot. Jeff Merck, Raymond Rittenauer the second. And this is a fast top 5 right now. You are going to have to work really hard to get around him. Daniel Eberhardt looks like he's ready to go. Not able to get anyone with him. Matthew Baker says, hey, man, I jumped out earlier. I was ready to go. You didn't want to go with me. Don't expect me to go now. $164 of the 200 completed so far tonight. You can almost feel it slowly but surely starting to pick up. I don't think we'll see the main action, though, until we get through this last pit stop. But the fuel window is now open. So how early do you pit? We've seen a couple guys get duped, if you will, from pitting too early, and then the caution falls out. We've had a pretty good amount of cautions. And if we had Larry Mack here, I think he'd tell you the trends are we are not done with them. But if we don't get a caution, we go green, you might be able to gain yourself some time by pitting early. Everybody here, though, choosing to stay out right now. We'll see what they do. We're watching for pit stops. Ken McCall Jr., though, and Christopher McCall, we have not seen them back up here. They are in that second pack. If these guys can stay organized with John Ward, that is. But Ken McCall Jr. is actually a lap down, maybe a couple laps down here. Looks like... Not sure. Oh, he's not on track right now, actually. Oh, no. So what happened to the 03? Not sure what happened, but we'll go back live. Jason Maines has got them all single file on the bottom now. Nobody looking to make a move right now. Pit stops coming shortly. And this is sometimes part of that once we get in these late race. We see this in real life too. All these guys, they're a little bit wore out. They're tired. They know how long. So at this point, you're like, I think everybody just kind of has a mutual agreement of just, let's get in line, guys. Let's just tick some of these off. Let's get to the end of this thing. Then we can race again. They will all find some extra adrenaline, some stamina at the end of this thing, though, to go at it. I promise you that. It looks like Jeff Merck thought about pitting, realized no one was going to go with him, jumps back up on the track. They're going by the lap car. Bryant Newmingham. Tell you what, Bryant not having the best night, but nonetheless, say we try to show most people. We haven't really showed Bryant tonight. Let's give his paint scheme a little love. Very passionate about the Oregon Ducks. If you see him in the truck race or the cup race, you'll know that because it's all over his car. Jason Maines, though, still leading the field all single file. The 25, though, not giving up on the push. Sometimes when we see these lines go single file, everybody will just kind of ride a little bit off the bumper. That 25, he knows how good they've been. He must be feeling it. He is still making sure he doesn't fall too far back. Oh, the 87 Raymond Rittenauer, the second, goes down to the inside wall. I couldn't tell if he saved it. Looks like he did. He may have made contact, though, with that wall. But everyone else gets in clean. I think he'll be okay. If he has to use a fast repair, he can. This is going to bring down Jason Maine, Kevin Fraze, Matthew Baker, Jeff Merck, Raymond Rittenauer the second, and the 25 of James Coffin looks like he's just going to drive through pit road. Daniel Eberhardt as well. That looks like. And the pit stops have started. This was the money stop. Last pit stop of the race, and unfortunately, it looks like Raymond Rittenauer the second may have messed up. Yeah, he gets out late. That's going to end his race unless we get a caution. Let's go back up front to see if anyone decides to pit this time. Off of turn 4, here comes Dylan Jones, followed by Sean Hill and Bryce Cobbler. You saw those guys lock up for just a split second. Nice job, though. Bryce gets in his box clean. So does Dylan Jones. We are going to watch that main pack. That's where the race is going to be on. So we'll turn this track map on for you here. Watch the tri-oval here. You're going to see this main pack flying around the tri-oval here shortly after these guys take off. You'll see them here in just a second. There they are right there. Those other guys trying to get up to speed. This pack will catch them. Just a matter, can they get up to speed in time? Will this group decide to pit this time? Looks like one of them decides to go. That's the 27, Brian Kaiser, followed by a bunch of others. 60, Jeff Merck. 4, John Mullen. This is a pretty majority of Team 3. Looks like Sean Boundy and Stephen Page as well all pit this time. Let's go back up front now, as it looks like we only have 2 cars still out. That's going to be Cody Reed and Eddie Hawks. They're going to need a caution or to pit this next lap. Otherwise, they're going to lose a lot of spots in a hurry. Chad Ross leading this group behind him. Richard Elliott's in it. Ross Leanbach, Terrence Bonney. It looks like Sean Boundy wins the race out of pit road. He's got John Mullahan right behind him. And John is going to have to really get on the bumper of this 34 when they get out. You'll see the pack coming to view any second. There they are. Got to get up to speed right here as quick as you can. John Mullahan going to link up and say, hey, man, I'm not letting off until I know we're good. Oh, but the 4 bobbles a little bit on the apron, and that pack goes flying right by. They are going to lose the draft off of that. Yellow flag is out. Oh, no, what happened? See if we can find it. Not sure what was this. I am not sure exactly what happened here, where this happened. But now the race is about to be on, because guess what? Everybody is going to be good on fuel. But let's go see what happened. Looks like this is involved Danny Eshelman. I'm not sure if anyone else was in it here. Trying to get up to speed here. Car's very difficult to get up to speed. Oh, he had one stopped on the track right there, actually. So while Danny Eshelman did go off track, let's see who this was. This Autumn Koger, maybe? Yep, that is going to be Autumn. So let's go see what happened to her. She had been having a pretty solid race as well. I don't think she was running in the main pack. Let's see if we can figure out what all went wrong. Oh, looks like maybe a couple. Oh, this is going to be getting up to speed. We'll play it for you here, and we'll go to TV1. These cars are not easy getting up to speed. It's very slick. Even on new tires, you got to remember, new tires are still cold. And that apron is a very slippery place to get up to speed. These guys all hustling, trying everything to keep as much of a draft as they possibly could. Let's see what happens here if Autumn's just going to spin around. Oh, actually, no, the 27, Brian Kaiser lost it. Autumn tries to take evasive maneuvers. Eventually spins. Does a pretty nice job of staying up, but then comes back up on the track. Wow, what a dodge. I think that was the 37. Same with Danny Eshelman. Another nice job from him as well. Let's ride on board here with Brian Kaiser for this wreck and see if, actually Autumn Koger rather. See if we can see some of the stuff she had to go through right here. Here we go. You saw it right there. And what happened, it looked like, let's see how she goes back up the track right here. Oh, sure enough, she hit the throttle as she still had those back 2 tires in the grass. Can't do that, just barely spun up the track. She gets off track as quick as she can, but brought out the caution either way, and that's going to change up a lot of things. You know who this works out for, though, is these 2 right here, Cody Reed and Eddie Hawks. They will probably not be the leaders, but they really needed that caution if they wanted to stick with the main pack, and they got it. This is going to put a lot of guys in contention for it now. Looks like we do have 33rd on back out of the race currently. It's about 6-7 drivers. Not too bad for a 200-lap race. And once we get everybody off the pits here, we'll let you know how many we still have on the lead lap. But you should be able to see it on your scoring tower there to the left. Your current top 5 as it runs, though, if they decide not to pit, would be Cody Reed first, Eddie Hawks second, Sean Hill third, Jason Maines fourth, and Daniel Eberhardt fifth. Bryce Cobbler made his way into the top 10. So did John Mullahan. Matthew Baker up here in 7th. And if some of you guys tuned out for a little while, wait till this thing got to the end. We're at that time now. Pit stops are no longer a factor. The real race is on. Go let your friends know. We are getting ready to crown an FEG-PC 500 champion here on a Saturday morning. And this did break up Jason and his two teammates, Kevin Fraze and the 87 of Raymond Rittenard the second, who actually also needed that caution. So this will work out for the 87, I do believe. He needed the caution when he messed up his pit stop. Looked like he got down in the wall. Did a good job not collecting anyone else, though. And from what it currently shows, we have 26 cars on the lead lap. Cox Motorsports says, man, Autumn was having such a good night. Absolutely, I agree. Autumn, one of the drivers, doesn't have a lot of money to put into these things, so events like this do mean a lot. Not that they don't mean a lot to everybody, of course, but it's just kind of a different feel sometimes. You know how it goes. But Cody Reed and Eddie Hawks making up the first row. This could shuffle things up a little bit here. This is going to be some of these other guys' chance. The 3 wide rule still is in place. We are going to go green with 25 laps to go. That's not a long ways, and with no more pit stops in play, these guys are going to start really getting aggressive. Everybody that's made it to this point really wants the money. And I still don't think we're done with cautions. We have not seen the big one yet, believe it or not. I think I talked about that earlier, but if we see a guy get turned around in the front of the field, that's probably when we're going to see the big one. Have not seen it yet, thankfully, though. But this is still a strong-looking field. We started with 38 cars. We have had about 6 guys retire from the race after damage. And we do have a decent amount of guys lapped down. Looks like about seven or so that are at least 1 or more laps down. Everyone else on the lead lap. Some guys still have their fast repair as well. And now would be a good time to have it. You know you can be aggressive, whereas some of these guys at the same time, they had to use their fast repair on lap 10. It was lap 15, whatever our first caution was. But either way, they've used it. They had to sit in the back for a while to make sure they didn't get involved. They're ready to go. They know it's go time. You could probably wait a little bit longer, but I think once we hit 15 to go, if you're in the back with as crazy as these races get at the end, you really got to start trying to make your way up to the front. Cody Reed, though, is going to lead the field to green here. Eddie Hawks is outside. Row 2 is going to be Sean Hill and Jason Maines. Row 3, Daniel Eberhardt. And I can't tell who that is on his outside. I think it's Kevin Fraze. Sure enough, that's who it is. Pace car rolls off. Green flag is back out. 25 laps to go at Daytona. That 25 got a good restart, and Sean Hill is right on his bumper. Those two are going to try to get clear as soon as they can. Sean Hill maybe thinking about jumping to the top lane. On the inside, they both get clear. They're going to have to be careful, though, because on the backstretch, Jason Maines is going to have a charging 25 behind him. They can't go 3 wide, though, yet. Have to be careful with that. We see Bryce Cobbler drafting up further back. Daniel Eberhardt jumps to the top. He's going to get help from Matthew Baker. Here comes the top lane. These guys really dicing it around. Daniel Eberhardt's going to get clear, though. We'll see if he decides to drop down. Not yet. Stays up high. Sean Hill linked back up to the 25. Off turn 4. He's got a big push, but so does Matthew Baker further back. Oh, these guys really swerving around. Looks like we see 2 pack separation already, but I think this time this pack sitting back is predicting a wreck. And led by Bryant Newmingham. Autumn Koger is in it. Christopher McCall. Mark Von Dell, he is multiple laps down, though, unfortunately. Sean Hill now jumps to the top. Oh, he gets really loose, has to dive to save it, comes back up. Now he's in the middle, 3 wide. Not able to go anywhere. Dicey. Oh, he goes up in front of Matthew Baker. That's going to wreck the whole field. This is going to be the big one. Everybody gets in this. Jason Maines, actually, they did a pretty good job of keeping it together. Caution is out. But that still collected a lot of guys. When we see the replay, there's going to be a lot more in this than it looks like. You still see we got guys turned around. That's the 4 John Mullihan. And I hate to say this because he's a teammate, but let me tell you something. Matthew Baker in the field probably not going to be very happy with that one, rightfully so. But before I judge too much, let's take a look at what brought out your 15th caution of the night. We're going to have to look at this from the blimper chopper cam to get the best view of it. Here we go. This should be a good one. We're going to take a look. I think this is going to start with the 3 of Sean Hill, I believe. So we're going to watch this whole move because this is a sequence of events here that kind of caused this. That little blink, don't count that. But let's see what happens. So 3 of Sean Hill jumps high. You see right there, he gets loose. We're going to play this slower. Hold on, I want to back this up for y'all real quick. Play this slower. So he gets loose right here. He tries to dive up top. You can't really do that in these cars. They just get too loose. So he knows he gets loose. He gets a little arrow push from the 9. So he tries to get back down in line right here. But then he thinks twice about going up top. Daniel Eberhardt's like, no, man, I'm here. You know, so he tries to get him 3 wide. I don't know if they're at the 3 wide. This is a freeze. This will load back in just a second. Give it 1 sec. This is part of the actual replay. So, and there you go. Back here, Sean Hill trying to find a gap. He's going to try to close the door here on Matthew Baker. Hesitates. The 5 was, oh wow, this is actually a little closer than I initially thought. I'm going to have to look at this even slower. So what I want you guys to do, because this is going to be the best way to watch it, the 3 car, let's watch his left side tires. Right now they're painted on that little black seam right there. Let's see if they come off of it. Seam ends, but you see that light right? They do start to come off of it a little bit. Matthew Baker burps the throttle. It's too late, but I'll tell you what, it wasn't as oblivious as I initially thought. I think the 3 was maybe thinking, try to see if Matthew Baker was going to let him in. He was kind of trying to half hesitate it. Unfortunately, when you do that sometimes, that's what happens. So I won't say that was as bad as it looked, at least in my eyes. But either way, look at the guys this one starts collecting. Matthew Baker able to escape without too much damage. Looks like Jason Maines maybe gets through it as well. From what I initially thought, this did not collect quite as many drivers as it could have. Sean Hill spinning. A lot of guys did go through the grass and spin off track. But we didn't have a lot of big damage, a lot of big pileup like you sometimes see. So a lot of guys are still going to be okay and still in this. So let's go back live up front. Check out your top 5. And if you are up front, I don't think you can pit now. You don't with 23 to go. Track position is key. Looks like first is Cody Reed. Second, Daniel Eberhardt the third. Third is going to be Bryce Cobbler. Go get him, Bryce. Fourth, Matthew McMeekin. And fifth is Matthew Baker, who doesn't look to have too much damage. And it looks like, yeah, Baker looks to be fine. So he caught a good break from that. Glad to see it because, I'll tell you what, I know Baker wins a lot of these. I'm never really rooting against him, but kind of rooting with him again tonight just because of the comeback that he's had. It's been so amazing. I mean, if you actually had a timeline on what this kid has done, probably weird that I call him, you know what I mean, what this guy has done, rather. It's impressive. He came from 2 to 3 laps down early on in this race, and he was like that for a while. Sometimes you might hear, oh, they got back on the lead lap. Good run. He didn't stop there. He's back up in the top 10, top 5. He's going to be fighting for a win at the end of this thing, I do believe. And we are going to be going green with 21 to go. Baker's mom says, wow, and I would agree. How else do you sum it up? Jimmy Crow says, Austin, you're doing a great job in the booth. Keep up the good work, young man. I do appreciate that, Jimmy. This was the longest race I've done. It has been interesting, but excited to do it nonetheless. It's been a great race. You all, thank you for coming out. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, though. It's time to start getting excited. Looks like Bryce says KO Blur. Also, 24 Bryce says KO Blur also. I'm not sure exactly what that means. But speaking of Bryce, here he is in 4th place. Looks like he's actually going to be 3rd. And as long as that damage that he was telling us about earlier isn't affecting him, he is in one of my favorite positions to be in. I always said I really like being the pusher on the inside of the outside. But Bryce is going to have to make sure he tightens those belts. Puts the gloves on. It's time to go. You got to push. If he doesn't have enough speed, Matthew Baker is going to have no problem going right around him. Eddie Hawk's up there too. Jason Maines. Tell you what, Kevin Fraze is not up here. I'm not sure what happened to the driver of the 25. Let's see if we can find it. Looks like he has fallen back. Currently in 20th. Pace car pulls off. Cody Reed leads him to green. 21 to go here at Daytona. Daniel Eberhardt actually beats the 25 on his own restart. What a jump from the 90. Here comes the 4. What can Bryce Cobbler do on the inside? Now he's got to push from Matthew Baker. That's going to get him right up to the bumper of the 25. Side by side, further back, pushing, starting to turn into shoving. Guys, got to be careful down the backstretch. This is where the biggest momentum can come from on that first lap. And you see it there, the 90 is going to get clear, no issues. But now the 24 locks back onto the 25. Can Daniel Eberhardt hold clear? He does for the moment. Is he going to drop down? He's not. And the 4 takes him 3 wide. He realizes he can't do it. Backs out of it wisely. Smart move right there from Matthew McMeekin. 3 wide further back, though. Can't do that this early. They're going to have to sort it out. You will get black flagged for it. Looks like they do indeed sort it out. That lap is going to go to the 25, though, of Cody Reed. And with 20 to go, he's got to be feeling pretty good about where he's at. Matthew Baker still shoving on the 24. And I'll tell you what, from what I'm seeing right now, I think that damage is definitely slightly affecting the 24. When they go 3 wide, they're probably going to try to go around him. The 25, though, now is going to jump to the top lane. Getting a push down from Daniel Eberhardt. Looks to see if they can maybe both get clear right here. I like that move a lot from Cody Reed, but Daniel Eberhardt takes him 3. Now the 25 dives back down to the apron. Has to bail out of it. We'll see if he can slow it down before he comes back up on track. Further back, they're trying to save it. They all do. Wow, what a job from everybody to keep it together. Autumn Koger, oh, finally looks like she's going to spin it. She still hangs on. Wow, what a save from some of these. Unfortunately, though, Autumn now going to need a caution, but 25 made it a move. The 95 made a better move. Oh, caution is out. Didn't see exactly where it happened. Oh, here we go. The 92, John Ward, and his teammate Christopher McCall further back. Looks like we got another one. That's Dylan Jones. Looks like he is just going to tow it. Let's see what happened here. Not exactly sure where this one started either. Oh, Dylan Jones is already spun right here. Remember, these guys all started having issues back there in turn 3. And let's watch this from the pit lane cam. I think this is going to give us our best view. Let's watch Dylan Jones right here. Everything looks fine. And all of a sudden, he just dives down to the apron. That's a little interesting. Through the grass here, and then I think he's going to come back up the track. Sure enough, locks it up, slides right back up to the 37. Jason Julian, that's a hard hit. 30 gets in the outside wall. You saw John Ward spin in. Wow, we need to go back and take one more look at this. Get a cockpit view here of Dylan Jones. I am not sure what happened. Always fun part about doing this broadcasting is trying to figure out what's going on in the driver's mind. It can do it a little bit, but only to a certain extent. Here we go, listen. And I'll tell you what, that's that might have been some sort of technical issue that Dylan was having. I'm not sure because just don't usually see something like that, especially from someone like Dylan. But look who took the lead. And you know this is going to get me excited. Bryce Cobbler in the Ghost Racing Network car on the inside, leading with 18, now 17 to go here at Daytona. Second place, Daniel Eberhardt the third. We know how good and aggressive he is. Third is going to be Matthew McMeekin. He's done a good job tonight. Fourth place, he has made his way into the top 5. He wants to win it. Matthew Baker. And rounding out the top 5, Eddie Hawks, first McCall Motorsports driver. Looking back not too far, though, we do see Team 3 driver Chad Ross, Jason Maines, who's been so strong tonight. Raymond Rittenauer the second, Brian Kaiser, Danny Eshelman. All guys in your top 10 or 11. It looks like this restart is going to happen with 15 to go. Slowly but surely, we're working our way down. Still 17 people in here tonight. We're getting close to the end. The thing, however, that does worry me about this 24 with that damage he has, we saw it there, wasn't the best pusher. The car is able to hang in the draft, but not the best pusher. And what that worries me with is if he gets out here in the lead with that front end damage, they're going to go right around that 24. You should be able to fall back in line somewhere. But either way, it's too late now. You got your damage. You got to work with it. Do what you can. Bryce can do everything he can to keep the Ghost Racing Network machine up front for what's going to be 15 more laps when we go green. And we will see if we can go the rest of the way green. I'm not sure. I put up a poll. We'll see what you guys have to say about it. But I'll tell you what, I'm not too sure on this one. We've seen the trend going up, and these guys are getting more aggressive. You got to remember, on these long races, guys are more tired, a little bit more irritated at the end. They're not as willing to just sit in line. I'm going to take a quick bite of food real quick, so you will hear me go silent for just about 20 seconds. And we are in turn 3, getting ready for the green flag here. 15 laps is all that's going to be remain here in the FEG-PC 500. Can Bryce Cobbler hold Daniel Eberhardt off on the outside? I'll tell you what, those two on the outside, that's a dangerous duo, and good luck holding them off, because that is going to be Daniel Eberhardt and Matthew Baker, two of the best in the business. But we'll see what happens. It's still anybody's race. We got over 20 cars on the lead lap. Green flag is back out. We're racing at Daytona. It's like Daniel Eberhardt gets a dead even jump again. That's really going to hurt that 24 machine. Down the short chute. Looks like the 90 has already got a nose out in front. 24 still hanging pretty strong for the moment. I think down this backstretch, though, is where we're really going to see that damage hurting the 24. He needs a little help on that outside. The 5, Matthew Baker, links up, no problem. Now here comes the 4. But you see it right there with just 2 cars. That outside scooting right on by. The 4's bumping him with everything he has. But Matthew Baker pushes Daniel Eberhardt right out in front. Daniel knows, I think he knows that 24's got a little bit of nose damage. Knows he might not be as effective of a pusher. He's going to try to stay up top right here with Matthew Baker. Shouldn't have to worry about getting past 3 wide, at least for these first 2 laps. Then after that, it's fair game. We'll see what Matthew Baker decides to do with it. 24 still trying to hold strong, though, on that inside. Daniel Eberhardt still has Matthew Baker on the outside. Side by side, Jason Maines, that 4th car on the outside. How about Eddie Hawk's 3rd car on the inside? Couple guys, they've been up here. They're trying to get back up here. That outside got a big run this time. But the 4 is still trying everything to keep him out in front. If Matthew Baker can get clear with Daniel Eberhardt, I think they will maybe both think about dropping down to the bottom line. I'm not sure, though. See the 34 up top? I think they don't want to see Jason Maines get in front of him. Matthew Baker, of course, a teammate, wouldn't mind. He knows he'll work with him. But Daniel Eberhardt knows he's got to be real careful here. He's walking on a pretty thin layer with Matthew Baker behind him. Could jump out at any minute. See a couple guys back here. A couple of stragglers, if you will. Not having the best night, but still working their way up here. Now might be a good time. Just to remind you, it is top 10 payout. And as it stands, your current top 10 from 10th to 1st. Stephen Page, 10th. Eddie Hawks, 9th. Matthew McMeekin, 8th. Bryce Cobbler, 7th. Ross Leanbach is going to be 6th. Actually, they just keep shuffling too much. Daniel Eberhardt, 1st. Matthew Baker, 2nd. Sean Boundy now back up to 3rd. And we will see. That 24 is still on the inside. They take him 3 wide. It's going to be over. But we are seeing the rest of the field really start to line up on the top lane. To the outside. Daniel Eberhardt looks like he finally pulls clear with Matthew Baker. They still don't want to drop down, though. I really, really like this move. Oh, back. Further back, they're wrecking. Big wreck in turn 1. Coming to turn 2, yellow flag is out. This one's going to collect quite a few of them. The 72's turning into it. The 23 gets T-boned. Caution is out. That means we're going to go green with under 10 to go. 72. Wow, that was pretty far after the wreck. Let's go see. This one may have been the big one. Didn't catch it all, so we'll have to wait till we see exactly how it looked before we call it. Let's see right here. I'm not sure where this starts. See the 4, that's John Mullihan, dive low. Oh, this is going to start in front of him, it looks like. Yep, it's going to start with the 30, so let's go find. That's Christopher McCall. He's had a little bit of a rough night. Looks like he was on the lead lap, though, here. Let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, big stack up on the inside there with Danny Eshman, the 3. The 30 gets into it. Looks like he's able to kind of hold together. Unfortunately, the 4, John Mullihan, tags him in the right rear. That sends the 30 down on the apron. The 06, David Sheets up in the wall. The 30's trying to hold it together. Back up onto the track here. Slides in the middle, and this is where, unfortunately, this is what you get with these big wrecks. These guys are going to start piling in right here. Watch this. The 4, the 23 up the track. David Sheets couldn't quite escape. Hard hit for a couple of those guys. The 25, Cody Reed. Oh, he's doing so good. He gets in it. James Kaufman, the 60, Jeff Merck. He slides in. The 02 also involved. It's a tough break for quite a few of these guys. That's Richard Elliott. You know what? Let's show a little bit of Richard Elliott here. I know he got wrecked, but here's what we're going to do right here. First of all, this wreck right there, the 72 slides. And actually, before we go to Richard Elliott, watch this. 72 here. This is after the wreck. This is a pretty good amount after the wreck. And right here for the 72, you pretty much just want to hold the brake until everyone gets by. The 37, that's Jason Julian sneaking by. John Ward's going to sneak by. So it looks like he's doing a pretty good job holding the brake right now. But I think someone else slides into him here. It looks like he's trying to actually get it rolling right here. Now he's going to lock it back up. Still waiting for that Bryant. There he is, the 17. Oh, and the 72 even that's a little, maybe a little bit more heads up driving on that, but sometimes these cars are hard to get slowed down. Nothing Bryant Newman Cam could do there. Let's go back live. Up front, current top 5 as it sits. We'll show their thing because it's getting to the big money time. Daniel Eberhardt, the 3rd, 1st, 2nd, Matthew Baker. 3rd, Sean Boundy. 4th, Jason Maines. And 5th, still hanging up here with that damage, is Bryce Cobbler in the 24. I wanted to say, let's give a little shout out over here to Richard Elliott. I know he's not had the night he's wanted, but either way, hometown Little River Academy. He's been trying tonight. Good to see Richard out here either way. I'll get to see him in the duels on Monday in the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series. We'll be wishing you the best then, Richard. But now this restart, gonna be under 10 to go. You can just feel it. These guys just getting crazier and crazier. We did put up a poll. We'll go and end that real quick. We asked you guys, will we go green the rest of the way? This was before the caution. 91% of you said no. So you guys did not disappoint on that one. Looks like I did miss a couple chats from you guys. We can go ahead and read them here real quick. Looks like we had Mike Davenport says, Eberhardt always in the running when it counts. Yeah, you are right about that. That is one fast man. We were watching him in the heats. He made some bad moves. And by bad moves, I think you know the word I'd add on to it. Can't say it, though, here on the broadcast. But man, he was fast. Looks like Jimmy Crow is in the chat. Looks like I would pay him $150 to call my 500. Thanks, Jimmy. That means a lot, man. Certainly appreciate you guys are enjoying it. Then we had a couple of you guys show Ghost Racing Network some love. Absolutely appreciate it. If you want to show us some more love, make sure you leave us a like on this video. Just lets me know you guys are enjoying it. Very excited. Well, I was going to say tomorrow, but we're already into Saturday. Don't forget later today, Jimmy Crow has the Dash for Cash truck race. We will be broadcasting that. Anything like what the 4-wide action was that we saw last week, we are in for a surprise, to say the least. And if you are new and you're just tuning in, it looks like the viewer count slowly creeping back up. Everybody tuning in here for these last 10 laps. A lot of money on the line. Remember, the winner is going to go home with $380. I know you're thinking, well, that's it. You got to remember, top 10 are getting paid out a lot of money. It was over $3,000. Didn't get the full field, but it was still one heck of a field either way. We can do that math by doing 3 times. So the total payouts, sorry, let me do that real quick. is still going to be $2,280 from the math that I'm doing. Pace car pulls off. This could be the last restart. We'll have to see. Matthew Baker on the inside, Daniel Eberhard on the outside. Green flag is back out. I think these two are coordinating it. That's why Daniel Eberhard maybe chose the outside. We'll see what he decides to do. Doesn't drop low just yet. He's got to be careful. He's got a dangerous Jason Maines behind him with Jason's teammate Matthew Baker on the inside. Field working their way through 1 and 2. Jason Maines has a big push. Gonna probably go low. Can't Daniel Eberhard do anything about it? Still hangs up top for now. Really wiggly. Oh, you saw the Ford get on the 19's bumper. You can't do that. You don't want to push the pusher. Looks like Matthew Baker's line hasn't been able to get it going just yet. The 34, the 24. Those two are going to have to get a little closer if they can. But boy, it just looks visually like the speed has picked up all of a sudden. Let's look at some of the speeds these guys are running here. On the bottom right, your dashboard, 190. They are pushing up top. Jason Maines knows it's go time. Watch these speeds when they get on the backstretch. We have seen 199, 200 so far tonight. We'll see if we can get any faster. Further back, looks like 3 wide. Remember, the 3 wide rule is off. And we will see Jason Maines maybe going to try to hold his move till turn 4. Look at the speed they get going right here down the back, 195. And almost 200 miles an hour as they barrel into turn 3. Matthew Baker still trying to get it going on the bottom side, and guess who's back? Now Jason Maines drops low. Daniel Eberhard can't block it. He has to go back up top. Now he's going to have Matthew McMeekin behind him. But on the bottom, it's Jason Maines, Matthew Baker. They take the lead. Followed by Kevin Fraze in the 25. How did he get back up here? Jason Maines now going to go to the top. Try to control it from Daniel Eberhard. Daniel going to push him. Now he drops back down low. He's not going to be able to. He takes him 3 wide. He hopes someone follows. No one does. These guys are getting really tight. The 3 of Sean Hill trying everything to let Daniel Eberhard in line. And this field is an absolute hornet's nest all of a sudden. Down the backstretch, though, with 6 to go. I don't know if they're going to make it the rest of the way. Donald Sadusky asks, how much does the winner get? $380. Up front, these 4 trying to pull away. It's Matthew Baker, the 25, Kevin Fraze, and Jason Maines. We'll see if they can hold on to it. Daniel Eberhard fell way back. It's not over though. Bryce Cobbler jumps up to the top in front of the 27, Brian Kaiser. Down low now, it's teammates Eddie Hawks and Sean Hill trying to get some momentum going. That top is going to be hard to beat. They're really going to need a lot of guys to line up right here and push. And you see Sean Hill, he's trying to do just that. He's going to need some more help, though. And it'll be interesting to see if they stay lined up like this. Will we see a move for the win from one of those top 3? I know sometimes they work together, split it. Oh, further back, they're wrecking, though. Big wreck out back, down the backstretch. We got a couple sliding through the grass. 72 sneaks through. 27 slides to a stop. So does the 92, the 6. Danny Eshelman through the grass. Caution is out with 5 to go. And that means we are going to have either probably a 2 to go restart, maybe even overtime. And it all came down to it. You knew how this thing would probably end. Let's go take a look at it. This one's showing a lot collected. And this is going to start on the backstretch. Ooh, looks like Daniel Eberhard already in the wall right here. Let's see how this thing kind of initially starts. So Brian Kaiser was in it, so we will go to Brian here. All right, let's watch. I'm going to play this slow for you here. Let's go. I think I want to do the blimp cam on this one. It should give us the best view. Daniel Eberhard knows he's got to go. Jumps to the outside here. 27 washes up just a little bit after bumping the 24. And then they just all start piling up the 92 onto the outside wall. 38, Chad Ross is in it. 13 slides back in. Wow, boy, did the 72. That's Art Greco split the gap. We have got to go right on board with him. Oh, my goodness. How did he... I don't even know what I just... I mean, he looked like he was going through there at about full speed. Somehow split the gap. Let's watch this. He's pretty far back right here. All right, here we go. This is Art Greco in the 72. Oh, wow, you talk about bobbing and weaving. Boy, did the 72 do it there. Nice piece of driving from Art. Keeps himself from getting potentially totaled. Let's go back up front. Your current leader now. Guess who it is? Matthew Baker, second. Kevin Frey's third. Jason Maines fourth is going to be Matthew McMeekin. And fifth is going to be Stephen Page. So Team 3 still with a chance up here. Eddie Hawks is going to have Sean Hill, his teammate, behind him there. 6 and 8. Don't count them out. Bryce Cobbler still up here in the top 10. Cody Reed, after I thought his night might be over after that last wreck. Here he is back inside the top 10. Looks like we had a couple wows and oh-nos from that last one. Looks like Baker's mom did say... Actually... Yeah, so the winner should, again, Jeff does official payouts, so don't ever quote me on it. But I try to do the basic math for you guys so we have it in here. Payouts do scale based off percentage of the field. So what you do is if there's 50 drivers, you take the amount of drivers, you divide that by the total number that it was based off. That will give you the percent in a decimal, and then you multiply that by the total money, and that's how much that position would get paid out with the adjustment. Looks like Baker's mom says... Baker may have a little bit of damage. I'll tell you what, I don't know if there's a driver in this field that doesn't have a little bit of damage, but I know what you're saying. And I'll tell you what, overall, Baker's car looks pretty clean. Didn't see any damage on it from what I noticed. The server has been a little laggy tonight. I'm not sure if it's just on mine, but you've seen it, a couple blinks. Maybe just because this was a long race compared to what we're used to. But guess what? It all comes down to an overtime finish anyway. Seems like we're in the same place we always are. And it's going to be absolutely crazy. The 25, Kevin Frey's, he has been the pusher all night. Still sitting here wondering, will he try to make a move to win it? Will he be the one that pushes someone to the win? And those first three, they are going to be really hard to pass. I think they'll probably coordinate a restart here again. Difference is this time, no, actually I take it back. I think Kevin's still going to probably let Baker down. Then they'll have Jason Maines behind. We'll see what they decide to do. The rest of this field, though, they can't get caught up with racing each other. They're going to have to make sure they try to pass these guys. Remember, top 10 get paid. So currently Cody Reed in the last money spot. 9th, Bryce Cobbler. 8th, Sean Boundy. 7th, Sean Hill. 6th, Stephen Page. 5th, Eddie Hawks. 4th, Jason Maines. 3rd, Matthew McMeekin. Kevin Frey's. Matthew Baker getting ready to go. Baker's mom says, maybe I'm tired and seeing things. I think I'm the same way. Some of the calls I've made this second half have probably sounded a little funky to you guys, but that's where we are here on a Saturday morning. Looks like Shoutcaster Sam says there are possible 10 green-white checkered attempts. I know there are. I'm not exactly sure the number that Jeff put on tonight. It's usually either 3 or 10. Hopefully we don't have to worry about going that far. Hopefully we can get it done right here. We can crown a champion in the FEG-PC 500. We'll be trying to get interviews with your top 3. I actually heard somebody scraping the wall back here. But yes, we will be trying to get interviews with your top 3 after the race is over, as long as they're around. Sometimes they're not. But we have ran 190 plus laps, and it all comes down to 2 of them. Green flag is back out overtime here at the FEG-PC 500. Matthew Baker drops down immediately. You saw how coordinated that was. Eddie Hawks decides to stay low. Sean Hill's going to take a risk and get up top with this 34. Sean Boundy. Or sorry, actually that's the 4 now. Matthew McMeekin. Sean Hill, though, takes the lead up top. The 4 dropped in line 1 and none of it. Up front, Matthew Baker in the 25 trying to scoot away. We talked about this earlier. Now is the time where if you get a couple cars to link up, the other guys may not have enough time to catch up. This 25 and 19, I promise you, they will probably not make a move until out of turn 4 if they decide to. He was 3 laps down earlier. You wouldn't know it because he's going to lead him to the white flag this time. No more cautions here at Daytona. Who's going to win all the money? Into the short chute. That little group of 3 still showing dominance behind. These guys trying to set up a run. I don't know if they're going to have enough time to do it, though. Stephen Page trying everything further back. Bryce Cobbler with Sean Hill. They're trying to get something going on the outside. Down the backstretch for the final time. No move yet. Now we see a couple guys jumping out of line. A lot of contact further back. Everybody's got to be careful. Into turn 3. Still no contest. I think there's too much of a gap if anybody wanted to try to catch him. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Matthew Baker still in charge. Into the tribal. Kevin Freeze, no move. Now Jason Maines looks to block high at the line. Matthew Baker wins the FEG-PC 500. He came from multiple laps down, and when I heard him earlier, he sounded like maybe the most angry driver in the field. I'm telling you what, I think right now he's about to be the happiest. It was a long race, but it was a certainly good finish for the driver of the number 5 Coasting Thunder Chevrolet. And we might see a little bit of victory like burnouts right here, because I'll tell you what, 1, 2, 3, Matthew Baker, Kevin Fraze, and Jason Maines. And I'll tell you what, before I forget, Baker's mom, unless you would rather, I don't know, but just go ahead, drop your Venmo, and I don't know how you guys do it. If you got Venmo, though, yeah, feel free to drop it in the chat, and I will send you $5. You called it out. Oh, wait, did you call Jason Maines? I don't care, Matthew Baker won. Whatever works. Matthew Baker's burning it down, and while he does that, I'm going to see if I can find these 3 in the booth. Still looking for some of them right now. They got to give them a chance to do their burnouts, as all 3 of them right here are going to park it by the line. And these guys are going to have a ton of momentum going into the podium duels. Jason Maines and Matthew Baker both locked in from what I heard. I'm not sure about Kevin Fraze. Baker's mom says I called Maines. Oh, okay. That's kind of what I thought, but I was going to call you wrong on it. So I think that means nobody did win the little $5 challenge then, but do correct me if I'm wrong. We can go check it. I'm still waiting to see these guys hop in the booth. Looks like they are in there now, so we're going to pull them in. So let me mute myself real quick while we get these fellas ready for their interviews. Stay with us. All right, and I have found the top 3. First, we're going to start with third place finisher Jason Maines. Jace, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, last time I talked to you was at the end of stage 1. Since then, you won stage 2, came home with a podium finish, a third place finish. How'd you get it done?
Teamwork. That's the bottom line. I always thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Everything we do is for him. That's why we're here. And you got to have luck, but you need him on your side. And tonight, he was with me for sure. And it was just amazing. I mean, we had some adversity in that race. Baker had a ton of adversity. And Kevin is amazing at pushing. I mean, that's like we were saying, he's probably one of the best pushers I've ever been around, and it takes that. And clean racing there at the end, and like I said, very appreciative. Long race, but a lot of fun. Yeah, I want to thank Lennox Industries and Bradley Mechanical. Thank Kevin, Matthew. Got to thank Ray and Merck there. A lot of good racing up there. Very happy that we got the win as a team, and had a lot of fun. Thank you for doing an amazing job on the broadcast. Look forward to watching it, and Jeff for putting on the race.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is your third place finisher tonight, Jason Maines, as he gets ready for the duels for the Podium 500 tomorrow. Now we go on to your second place finisher, Kevin Fraze. Kevin, you got a copy?
Yeah, Austin, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you? You just pushed Matthew Baker to a win, but you were overall the best pusher all night. You almost guaranteed yourself a top 5 with the way you were pushing. What more did you need, though, or did you not think about passing Baker coming to the line?
I was staying in line. Baker is always working great with us, and when you're working well with your teammates, I mean, you're not going to pull out a line. Control as much as you can and just keep on pushing. I mean, look at it, took him 150 laps to get on the lead lap, so he earned that one.
Absolutely, he did. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out on this Saturday morning?
Yeah, huge thanks to the guys tonight, Jason, Matthew, Jeff and Ray. I mean, we had good pit stops. Sure, Zach had an interesting one out there, a bunch of wrecks and all that, but it was an awesome race. Thank you to you for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to Jeff for putting up with us.
All right, that is your second place finisher, Kevin Fraze in the 25 car. Now, we're going to go to your race winner, the champion of the FEG-PC 500, Matthew Baker. Matthew, you got a copy?
I got you, Austin.
Well, this might be a little bit of a longer interview than normal because I'm going to need you to walk me through how you went from multiple laps down to the winner of this event.
Once I went multiple laps down, I just thought I needed to stay patient, get my lucky dogs, get my wave arounds when I could. And they weren't falling in the beginning, and I wanted to get back, but the team just told me to stay patient. Jason told me to stay patient, and we made it happen there at the end. I couldn't have done it without them. Kevin get me up to the front from 12th, and then us taking it from the bottom all the way to the top to pick Jay up whenever Daniel hung out Jason on the top. It's just all good teamwork there.
Well, that was easily one of the most incredible, if not the most incredible comeback I've seen since I've started broadcasting. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, just again, thanks to the teammates, Jason, Kevin, Ray, and Jeff there. Bad luck for them, but always good running with them. Thanks to Coasting Thunder, MVG Motorsports, Baker and Son Construction. That's a dirty car on the screen now after 200 laps. It looks like we've been running through the mud the whole time, but it looks pretty good right now in victory lane. Thanks to the family watching back at home. Mom stayed up till 2 a.m. watching this race. I can't believe she did that. And thanks for putting on the broadcast. I know it was a long one, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming out, and congrats on the win.
Thanks.
That is your first place finisher, Matthew Baker. Let's take a look at your finishing results. First, Matthew Baker. Second, Kevin Fraze. Third, Jason Maines. Fourth, Stephen Page. Fifth, Matthew McMeekin. Sixth, Eddie Hawk. Seventh, David Sheets. Eighth is going to be Cody Reed. Ninth, Sean Bounty. And rounding out the top 10 and last money spot is Sean Hill in the 3-car. 11th, Raymond Ritnar the second. 12th, Bryce Cobbler. 13th, Daniel Eberhardt the third. 14th, John Mullahan. 15th, Autumn Koger. 16th, Danny Esselman. 17th, Chris Cronin. 18th is going to be Christopher McCall. And it looks like here, actually, I do apologize. There we go. 19th is going to be Jason Julian. 20th, Richard Elliott. 21st, John Ward. 22nd, Art Greco. 23rd, Chad Ross. 24th, Brian Kaiser. 25th, Brian Terry. 26th, Mark Von Dell. 27th is going to be Ross Leanbach. I believe I said that right. 28th, Bryant Newmingham. 29th, Terrence Bonney. 30th is going to be James Kaufman. 31st, Jeff Merck. 32nd, Dylan Jones. 33rd, Ken McCall Jr. 34th, Matt Mitchell. 35th, Joshua Watson. 36th, Ron Morris Jr. 37th, Ambrose Kniebel. 38th, Daniel Bell in the 47 car. That is just about going to wrap it up for tonight. Before you guys head out, we do got a couple reminders that we got to let you know about all this. Let's see. Let me get rid of this real quick off the screen. Matthew Baker did get the win tonight. It was our first 200-lap event, so I can't thank you all enough that stuck with me throughout it. If you did enjoy, please leave us a like. And if you're new here, give us a follow. It helps a lot. You were watching the FEG-PC 500 here on Ghost Racing Network with the Green Ghost. Thank you all for coming out. Don't forget, later today now, since it's technically Saturday morning, Jimmy Crow has the Dash for Cash. It's going to be the truck series that will be broadcasted here on Ghost Racing Network. Don't miss out on that. Also going to have LCQs tomorrow. Go support some of the drivers in these money races in those, as well of the duels. We'll catch you all later. Thank you one more time for coming out. Have a good one.